So have you been thinking about getting a 3D printer to make your own personalized, functional, and decorative items? Because we have one today, the Bambu Lab A1 3D printer. And we are going to unbox it, set it up, and play test it for you to help you decide if this is the 3D printer that's right for you. Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Maker, and this is Greg, Mr. Maker. We love making things, and a 3D printer can really expand your horizons. So today we're going to dive into the A1 3D printer with the AMS Lite system. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, we're going to explain everything. This is a really cool printer that promises high quality results and multi-material capabilities, so multicolor even sometimes. So, and if you know me, you know that I love tools that make crafting and making projects easier and more creative. So we are actually going to give away this 3D printer that we unbox and set up. So stay tuned to the end of this video to learn how to enter our giveaway. Yep.
I'm excited to do the playtest with Jennifer because 3D printers is something I've been passionate about for a long time. I'd say I've been using printers for about 5 years now, and many different types. So I have a great deal of experience.
We own many different types of 3D printers.
Admittedly, that is true, yes.
Like a lot, okay. So let's begin by unboxing the 3D printer. So while Greg unboxes it, let me explain what a 3D printer is for those who are new to the idea of 3D printing. So a 3D printer is like a magical maker tool that brings your ideas to life in 3 dimensions. So some of you may be used to a cutting machine, which tends to work mostly just in, with flat things. Even laser cutters are pretty much flat things. They might be thicker, but they're still flat. But a 3D printer is 3 dimensions. And instead of cutting or assembling materials, a 3D printer creates objects layer by layer from filament, which is a material similar to string, kind of, but is made of plastic, wood composites, or even metal-like finishes. So for crafters and makers, this means you can design and make anything from custom cookie cutters and intricate jewelry to unique decor and perfectly tailored storage solutions. I have made a ton of stuff, and Greg makes way more than me. So it's like really a way to take your creativity beyond traditional crafting methods, and it allows you to personalize, prototype, and produce items with super precision, all from the comfort of your home. Okay? It comes with a quick start guide, and a plate. That's what this is. So we'll just take this out.
And I also think the size of the box is because, unlike a lot of printers out there, this one I think is mostly assembled for us. So
yeah. So this printer claims to be able to be set up in 20 minutes. Also, it's a pretty good price, which is why we chose to do that.
The first thing, and I guess I should be less of a savage here and try to open these things nicely. We have our quick start guide.
Okay, let's put that over here.
It is attached to a textured PEI plate. This is the build plate, the print plate. So this is where our model will essentially print on it, and it's two-sided.
Yeah. Okay. And we will show how all these things work.
I'm going to geek out on this. This is a very nice touch. I have a lot of printers. Mostly Pressa printers, but I've started recently getting into Bambu Lab's printers because the costs are nice. They don't have to. I think they ship from like Europe. The Pressa do. The Bambu Lab ones you can get a lot quicker. But I just got to say, I know what this is. These are filament swatches. So this is actually a little card sample of each of their filament colors.
That's cool.
So you can actually, instead of guessing through the website, because while filament isn't overly expensive, you don't want to order something and get their own color. Yeah, so this is all of the
bamboo filament. So this is what you can make your projects with. This is the material you use for it. So there's a lot here. This is actually really cool. I agree.
Yeah, they actually tell you on there. So say you're looking for a green, you can actually look at the one, and this one says PLA Basic on there. So it'd be really easy to find your exact color. Very nice. Can you put that back in
Yes,
the box?
I would put that back in the box.
That's a very Greg thing to. Jennifer knows that I like to fidget with everything as it comes out. A boat model component kit. So a neat thing that Bambu Labs does, they actually have all these little kits so that you can print a lot of the structural components of a model, and then you add a little thing to this. Like, I think this might be a little wind-up motor, or
It looks like it's got a little motor
to put
in the back.
onto your 3D model. So
Okay.
that's very, very cool. This is
A little box
a little
of
box.
stuff.
Maybe your parts.
Oh, this is all of our parts.
So we have tools. There's probably
everybody.
lubricants and cleaning brushes, maybe.
Yeah, so this is the tools that we'll use, and also tools to maintain it.
Oh, this is a nice touch too. It's itty bitty. Watch me hurt myself. It's like an acupuncture needle that you use to clean the nozzle if it gets clogged. This is a very nice kit. This is wonderful. So far, so good.
And I do want to know, actually, real quick, before we get too far, that this printer I have put into a shopping list. I'm going to put it up on the screen. There we go. So that you can find this exact one that we're working with. It is right there. It is at jennifermaker.com/3D printers list. That should take you to our Amazon shopping list so that you can see the one that we got. All right. Okay.
And this one also is like the A1 combo, so it has a bunch of little added things. There's other models of the A1. You're going to get the same kind of printer. This one has an AWS, which we will talk about, the printer itself, and then a bunch of added little extras, which is what we're seeing now. So if you go with one of the other like simpler A1s, you might not get all like little boat kit or filament swatches. So, but
Right,
this is like if you were getting started.
Right.
This is
the combo is the one I have linked. Right.
Yes.
Currently, at least, that shopping list could change, but that's the one I put in there. So I'm putting everything here on the side. All right.
Now these, if I had to wager a guess, so the filament comes on spools, and those spools have to go on a spool holder. We have like a little spring-loaded mechanism. I'm sure this is what's going to hold that. So we have 4 of these.
Oh yeah, there's another one.
So you can hold 4 simultaneous spools of material.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right, put those over here. What else we got in there? What is that thing?
Is probably the foot for the spool holder.
Right, for the AMS Lite.
Yep, AMS Lite.
Yeah, what does AMS stand for again?
The AMS is the Automatic Material System.
Yeah, so if you don't know what that is, so basically that is a way for you to take your filament and make it ready instead of like just sitting on a desk or hanging off the back. We actually have some other Bambu Lab 3D printers, so we're familiar with this, but this is the AMS Lite version that works with this printer, if that means anything. We're going to demonstrate. You're going to see exactly what that means, but it's pretty cool that it's available for a lower priced printer.
So with most 3D printers, the FDM printers, which is what this is, which is a filament printer basically, they can only take one color of filament at a time. If you want to switch it, you actually have to, replace the filament each time.
And it is such a pain.
So the AMS actually serves 2 functions. This one's kind of simple, but so this allows you to run multiple colors, and it will actually change them for you basically in the middle of the printing process. So this will change colors based on how you set it. So they call this one the AMS Lite. The AMS, which goes on their larger printers, they have a Carbon X1. That's
we both have one of those.
Yeah, and
next to
I
our
want
desks.
like 10 more of them. So we'll see how many I have.
They're more expensive. This
They
is less expensive.
Their AMS is actually in a contained volume so that you can kind of protect your filaments from things like humidity and stuff. The filament, once it comes in like a sealed package. Once it's exposed to the elements, it can break down. So it's like you just kind of have to commit. You're ready to do a project. You open you choose your filament color, and you start doing your printing because it won't last forever.
Put this over here. Okay. What else is in there?
We got. Let's see if this comes out. I'm sure in the quick start guide it will tell us.
Oh, that's true. We do have a quick start guide. Maybe we just take out.
But I think we
foam.
can get that. I'm just making sure we got all the loose pieces.
Awesome.
I can
Okay.
take it over here.
Okay.
There.
All right. Well, this looks like the printer itself.
I believe this is the.
Oh, maybe not. Oh no, obviously not.
This is the AMS.
That's the AMS
system.
Yeah.
So the stand is going to attach to this unit here. You see these little holes here. There will be filament extruding through each of those. So the spool holders are going to go on top of these, and then they're going to feed through these, and then somehow it will be sent to the printer. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. All right, cool.
That
Got it.
aside,
Want to break anything?
This looks like-
it smells really good. I have to say, it totally
It
smells like
does,
a new toy on
actually.
Christmas morning to
It
me.
does.
It
I
does,
would
doesn't
be
it?
very excited. I would be locking myself in my room. This looks like some sort of arm to help the filament, guide the filament to the printer, because it's important that you not, bend it. You want to kind of a
Okay.
smooth
Cool.
line. The
Power
standard
cord.
power cord.
Ooh, exciting! This is important. If we don't have this, then we're out of luck.
This little thing, not sure what it is yet. Don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
All right.
Mystery item.
Again, I'm sure it's in the guide.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is.
But I do have a lot of familiarity with printers, so I'm okay kind of moving forward
Okay.
on stuff.
We'll take a look at the
All right.
quick start guide.
So I would
Something over
say,
there.
nope, that's it.
Okay.
We're going to another layer.
It's really well packaged. So
it-
this
yes.
is the printer.
It's beautifully well packaged. Yep. So it
Do
looks
not
like-
grab or
do not
press on
grab.
the X-axis.
So this might be worth. We might want to look at the quick start guide just to
Okay.
be compliant
Yes.
with all of their instructions from here.
All right.
Because we're going to have some pieces we're going to have to cut.
So here's the quick start guide. Little seal. And this weird little plastic thing. All right, quick start. So this is the A1 with AMS Lite, right? It shows you what's in the box. Did we get everything? Looks like it. Do we have our sample filament?
It might be in that
Yeah,
box.
it
We'll have
might
to see.
it might be somewhere else. So, but everything is there.
So far.
All right. Yeah, so far. All right. Does it say what to do? Oh, there we go. Number 1. It actually says install the build plate. So we can take this out of the box.
Let's see what they do here. So I would say that this is actually the. So this is going to sit on the printer, kind of like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Is what you can see there, I guess. All the filaments are going to go into this, which is where the hot end is, and they're going to come out the bottom right there, and then their build plate's going to be here. So we'll see that.
All right. I know. I'm like, maybe yeah, I'm thinking maybe I just had to pull it out like that. I'll take this box away.
You set that aside, please. This is nice and simple. So this is the base or whatever they're calling it. So this is the bottom of the. Show the front view again.
Nope.
So there's going to be the little control screen you interact with, and the rest of the printer sits on here, and the plate will sit there.
Oh, here is the nozzles and tubes and stuff that we need. Let me take those out.
A series of tubes.
Series of tubes.
Oh my goodness! Look at this.
We actually have to be really careful because we're going to give this away, so we have to put
we do.
everything
Has
back.
to go back.
That's going to be fun. You get
So-
to do that job.
This arrangement of tubes is for the AMS system to help funnel the filament to the printer.
Okay.
This is a tiny little sample of Bambu PLA basic white filament.
So let's look at the quick start guide. So the first step is it says install the build plate with correct orientation, aligning the edge with the heat bed. I'm trying to read this tiny little type on the screen. All right, so it shows a diagram. It looks like this. All right, so this is
the heat plate.
the heat plate.
Right. And if you look actually very helpfully on these, like they actually have information. I don't know how well you can see it. They actually have information on, oh, you can't even really. And it's backwards. Hey! There we go. You can see there's information on the types of filament. This is PLA, ABS, PETG.
Oh yeah, here. Let's show.
Nice.
That's kind of hard without us pointing to it. It is right
That's it.
here at the bottom. It tells you what kind of filament. So if you don't know what this means, that's just the name of the filament that's appropriate for this heat plate. If you are used to, let's say, a cutting machine, it's like matching up your mat to your material. That's basically all it is.
And you'll also notice the different shapes of the plate here. It kind of has a tab sitting out here that matches this one in the back here. And this magnetizes the machine like this.
Yeah, so it's stuck on
fit
there.
in there snug.
I mean, you can pull it off, but it's pretty good. Right?
So like printing like this, FDM printing, fused disposition printing, it's like melting plastic, right? So this plate here, they call it sometimes like a hot plate. So that's because the plate will heat up so that the plastic will stick to it and stay like semi-melted. If it gets too cold, it might pop off.
And I see someone asking what printer we're using. So I'm going to pause just for a minute to do a recap of what we're doing. So today we are unboxing a Bambu Lab A1 3D printer. And when paired with the AMS Lite system, which we have today, it does a whole bunch of really cool stuff. That's a range of features designed to improve the 3D printing experience. So this is really cool. If you've used one in the past, the Bambu Lab printers are definitely taking things to a new level in our experience. So this printer, this A1 3D printer, supports multicolor printing. It allows us to make really vibrant multicolor designs.
And all 3D printers can print in any sort of colors, but this one can automatically change the colors in the middle of the prints for you.
Right, which is really cool. So it can do up to 4 different filaments. It's supposed to be fast, right? I'm pretty sure you told me that.
Reasonably fast.
Reasonably fast. And I actually made a little note of how fast it is, if you care. It's 10,000 millimeters per second squared. If that matters, that's very technical.
If you say so. Does anybody know how fast that is?
I don't know how fast it is. That sounds really fast to me.
I believe that it is faster for most printers in its price range.
Yeah. And this is not an expensive 3D printer. It is full auto calibration, so that's really cool. So it'll calibrate for you. You don't have to do a bunch of manual adjustments. And then also, and this is important to me, it claims to operate quietly with noise levels that should be about like what a refrigerator is. So just sort of background noise. And then it's also user-friendly, also a big deal. It's supposed to have a touch screen, which we'll see, and an app, which we're going to demonstrate. We actually have the app loaded, and we can show you on the screen. And I got the exact printer that we're unboxing in the shopping list that you'll see at the bottom of the screen, jennifermaker.com/3D printers list. That is going to the Bambu Lab A1 3D printer with AMS Lite. It's like the combo, okay? By the way, just so you know, our background, we have 2 other Bambu Lab printers. We both have an X1 carbon. He got one for me last Christmas, and it was so cool that he had to buy one for himself.
Yes. But that's in addition to 4 other brands of 3D printers.
Yes, so. We have a lot of 3D printers.
There's actually, I think we're going to find that there's a lot of features hidden in here. Things that you might not even know about this. Premium features. There's actually a camera on the underside of this. The Carbon X1 has this too. You can actually see what your printer is doing through the app, and you can do a time lapse of the thing being built. So that's pretty cool. I saw it in there.
To the top,
I didn't realize that at first, but I see it peeking in over there. So.
All right. So shall we move on to step number 2? All right. Of course, it's going to take us longer than 20 minutes, but still, it should give us an idea of how easy it is.
That's because we're leisurely taking a stroll through the 3D printing hobby.
Now we have to, the next step is to unlock the heat bed. So flip the base housing 90 degrees to the side opposite to the screen.
Opposite to the screen.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So no, opposite. But this goes.
Yes,
okay.
I think
All right.
I'm just
You're
showing
just showing
them.
them. Okay. Awesome. All right, and then use the Allen key H2 to remove the 4 highlighted screws at
In
the
the
bottom.
little box.
Yep. So let me get the little box. And then in the meantime, this is what the step that we're doing looks like. If you're following along because you got one. All right, so here's our little box.
On a 3D printer like this, it moves up and down, side to side, back and forth. So in transport, they're typically locked into place so they don't move. So that's what we're doing. We're removing these 4 screws that are keeping it from moving.
All right, so this is the little box of tools. So that Allen wrench should be in here.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so let's just set them right there. All right. You want me to hold that while you do it? Got it?
Would
Okay,
you like
cool.
to undo them, or should I?
No, you can do it. Here.
You-
I'll just
you
hold
wanna
it
hold
for
it?
you.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, so yeah, we're just keeping that I don't remember that, whether that was like that in the X1 carbon.
There was screws you had to undo. There was also, can't really see, but use your imagination that I am unscrewing these things now. There's also, like foam holding things in place, just, so they can be delivered. So that's the thing. We're going to have to put these screws right back for whoever wins this.
Yes, right. Whoever gets this printer, we will do our very best to carefully package everything back up in the original packaging, because our goal is that it arrives to you safely and you get to use it and make it. All right, so those are the 4 screws, and it does show you exactly which ones to use in the directions.
For now, I'm just going to put these right back in the box. All right, I'll take over for you.
Okay. Alrighty. It says, be careful when fully releasing the heat bed. Use foam padding in the package to protect the heat bed from swinging.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We're good. I was holding it.
All right, now we're going to mate the base housing and printer frame. So put the printer frame on the table as shown above. So here is what that step looks like. All right, so you're going to put the printer frame on the table as shown above.
Let me see it
Yep.
as shown above.
There you go. I'll set it here.
All right. Just making sure we're on the right end there. I see. Okay. So we're going to go from this side here. As shown above is like this.
Yeah.
Keep reading, please.
Okay. Next, tilt the base housing about 45 degrees to pass through the printer frame. Align the slot with the printer frame as shown in the diagram, and slowly lower the base housing until it is fully flush with the printer frame on the table. So again, here's what it looks like. And so looks like Greg is taking something off. Oh, I see. You're just getting.
There's all of this is still packaged here, so they might have told us to undo
so
this,
is
but
the base.
this is the
and
base.
This is the frame. Yep.
and this part, whoop, moves forward and back while I was doing this printing process.
All right. So did you tilt the base housing about 45 degrees to
I did
pass through
there.
the printer frame? Align the slot with the printer frame.
Just to make sure we are clear.
Yeah, because we can't break it.
Yes. I'd hate to deliver a broken printer there.
So we're going to be really careful.
So what we're doing essentially is we are tilting this up at an angle so that it can slide into this space.
Want me to tilt it? Is that helpful?
Yeah, actually, I think we are doing this. You'll notice
Oh,
there's
yeah.
like a little cutaway here.
Oh, yeah. That
That's
makes
gonna
sense.
dock on the side.
Okay. Here, I'll hold this.
Something like that.
All right, let me do that overhead. Yeah, so all we did was basically put it in there. That
Easy
was very
peasy.
fancy for what we had to do, I think. All right, let's just center it so we can see the whole thing there. There. Okay, we'll keep it right there so we can see on the overhead. Okay, next step. Unlock the tool head. So cut the zip tie and cardboard wrapped around the tool head and X-axis. Where's the tool head? Hey, should we turn it around so everyone can see the front?
Oh, it might be a little challenging to snip, but...
That's true. Maybe we turn it around afterwards.
Has it told us to secure this, attach this in some way?
Nope. It just says the last step was slowly lower the base housing until it's fully flush with the printer frame on the table.
I'm going to take a peek. I don't know about that. There's some screw holes in there.
Maybe it'll have us do it afterwards.
I guess it's possible. All right. All right. So we are undoing what exactly?
All right. So cut the zip tie and cardboard wrapped around the tool head and X-axis, which I think is this. So there's the zip tie. And let me go on the overhead. Here's the zip tie right here. There's two of them. And then here's the cardboard.
All right.
All right. So cut the zip tie and the cardboard wrapped around the tool head and X-axis. And then remove the zip ties and foam padding on the printer frame.
Do you have a little pair of snips?
I have some scissors. Maybe that's better. So you don't cut yourself
I'm fine.
in a live video.
But I would hate to damage any of the little delicate parts. There's also a little piece over
right
here. Do we snip that as well?
It says remove the zip ties and foam paddings on the printer frame. So yes, there's a little diagram here. And it shows what to do. So it does show doing that. Is there one on the other side? It says to get these too. So let's move this over so they can see what I'm pointing at. There we go. There's some down here. There's foam up here. Yep, all of that.
It might be better served seeing it from the front at this moment.
There.
There's all sorts of little things to help protect it and transport.
Patty says be careful.
That should not be a problem.
He's really pretty good. I can't say he doesn't have a bunch of scars on his hands, actually.
Those aren't my fault. Those are just things that happened.
But still, he's a careful person. We both are, actually. We're both really careful.
I've never had to get any stitches from any 3D printer, laser cutter, anything like that. Now, furniture. I used to be a upholsterer, a apprentice upholsterer, and yeah, that's where most of those came from. That's a dangerous line of work.
All right.
All right.
And then now, and the next step is to remove the X-axis cover. Push the heat bed fully to the front end where the screen is located. Open the X-axis cover and pull out the X-axis cover gently.
And so as we're looking at this thing here, so this is the little screen here. So this is the front, essentially. So when we push everything to the front, it's like this.
Yeah, so we probably need to lift it from the frame. So keep that in mind. All right, so did you do that? You did that? So we good? Pulled out the X-axis cover?
I believe so.
All right. Next step is to lock the base housing.
Okay.
So install 10 ST323 screws in the holes highlighted in green. And, oops, they can't see that. This is the next step, right? There's the little holes that we have to put screws into. So that's actually, that's quite a few of them. You know what we need is the little mini screwdriver.
It's around here someplace.
I don't know where it is.
So here's, they call them what?
ST3-23 screws.
Which is pretty funny because the bag just says 4-base housing on it. It doesn't tell you. So unless you really know what your screws are.
Oh, look how cute they are. These little teeny tiny, everything is, okay. Can we just marvel at how these things, everything is labeled so nicely. Can you see these? Look at this. They have like little labels on them. That is super useful. I love it.
Yeah, it's very well done.
You don't have to like match up the size. Like, oh, is this the right one? This is cool.
So this is pretty awesome, actually. An unboxing experience. So I have some bigger, expensive printers, and sometimes to save money, you can buy them as parts kits that you assemble yourself. And it takes forever, like 6 hours usually for me. But I gotta say, the Pressa, which is the printers that I generally like, the one thing they have over this is they all come with gummy bears inside the thing, and they actually have instructions.
Gummy bears?
In the, yeah, they tell you what
cookies.
steps to take. They like reward you for accomplishing like steps on the
Which
thing.
is actually really cool.
Which
I would eat gummy
sounds
bears
silly,
right now.
but if you are a person that struggles to, get these things built.
Yeah, we need gummy bears for everything.
Yeah. So I think we should attach these.
Okay, go ahead. I won't answer questions while you're doing that because that's a little boring. I saw somebody ask, what sorts of things do you make with a 3D printer? I actually have a couple things here, and I'll show you.
What can't you make?
I know, it's so much stuff. So, this is, if you were watching, so about 4 years ago, we demonstrated a 3D printer, the Pressa, and this is a little snowman. Our daughter, Alexa, designed this. Let's get it to focus for us. There we go. She designed this. It's just a little figurine. Greg painted it. She was, how old would she have been at the time? Like 14 or 15 when she designed this. So you could make little things like this, right? Little, whatever you can imagine, you can make. Now, some of you will recognize this. This is another thing you can make on a 3D printer. Lots of awesome organization stuff. This is our 3D printed tool holder. We shared this a really long time ago now, many years ago. We share the file freely. Many people have made it. And it's got a little drawer that pulls out. Isn't that cool? And this is actually designed to fit Cricut tools, so it's purpose built, but it can be used for lots of things. We still use this to this day. I have one at home. There's one sitting on my desk right now filled with stuff and tools, but this was made on a 3D printer, and you can make it on this one too. It fits, right? Let me see. Yes.
Yeah, so this one has a build volume of basically 10 by 10 by 10 inches.
So this could be done on this printer. All right, let me show you something more intricate. Did you print this, Greg? Or is it just a printed?
No, I printed it.
Did you print this? Okay.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I'm breaking your toys. I forgot it came off. I'm sorry. I hope it didn't mess it up. All right, there we go. This is a house that is 3D printed. So Greg 3D printed it. See, it's actually almost like a little box. Anyway, so this is an example of something more intricate that you can make on a 3D printer, right? So we've got they're all three-dimensional. And I think that's the thing that's so cool about a 3D printer. Can I show them the big one?
Would you like help with that?
No, because I don't want to distract you.
It's a lot of different pieces too.
All right, well then I'll show everyone the big thing later when Greg is done assembling.
Yes.
Okay. He doesn't want me to drop it and break it.
I'm not saying that's not the reason, but
You're also not saying that's not the reason.
So when you're going through the instructions, I noticed you missed a little step there.
Oops, sorry. What did I miss?
So could you go back to the overhead?
I can. All right.
Looking for the screw locations to secure this, and I noticed that there is a piece here that they.
Oh, that's the X. That's the Y-axis cover.
I see.
Remember I said
see how they have the.
Yep.
There's like these little holes. Oh, you can't. Well, you kind of see them there. So that's where I'm putting screws in currently.
Pull these things out of your way. Yes. Okay. Connie says she would be so anxious putting this together. It's okay. The instructions are really very clear.
Oh, this is actually very nice, and it's awkward, especially if you've never done one before. But It's not particularly heavy. Yeah. This is very user friendly. As long as you're going to be thorough and follow the instructions, it should be okay.
I don't think that you'll have any problem with this. This is actually really good. Now, we're doing it live, And we haven't assembled this before. So, you know, if we were making a easy step-by-step tutorial for you, it would be simple. To put the screw in, you would just see us do that. But you're seeing this in real time, so just keep that in mind. It might seem a little bit more chaotic or confusing than it actually is. But still kind of fun to do.
We tend to kind of fool around a little bit with it anyway. So
yeah. Ryan asks if it was painted or printed. So both of the two examples of the things, oh no, I gave you 3 examples. The house, everything, the snowman and the house were both painted after they were printed.
Yeah, so...
Oh, I know what he's asking. You want to
Yeah.
know if it was, the color comes from the filament. That's what you want to know.
In that case, it did not. That was a monocolored print.
Right.
That was before we ever really had like
things like this, right?
AMS system.
Yeah, we only got the AMS system a year ago.
So I really like scale modeling, and I love 3D printing. I have a new printer. My newest printer has close to 800 hours of print time on it right now. I love it. I just keep them running most of the time. That's the thing about
almost
this
always running.
is once you have the file in there, it's kind of set it and forget it as long as you have a good quality printer.
Mm-hmm.
Some, like, on the market, you can find cheap printers on Amazon. You can find them and put them for a couple $100, but what happens when you run out of filament mid-print? Well, a cheaper printer might not know, it might just keep trying to print, and then it ruins your print.
Right. Yep.
This is a heated bed. Not all printers have that.
Mm-hmm.
This one has a camera. You could keep an eye on what your printer is doing from across the country, presumably.
I know, it's so cool. Like we will have something printing, and then we go watch TV or go play a game, and we can bring it up on the phone to see how it's doing. I love that.
I guess what I'm trying to say is,
you.
like, there's a lot of sensors here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it knows, it's keeping track of a lot of things. You run out of filament, it allows you to resume.
Right, I love that.
Put in new filament.
Yeah.
It allows you to do all sorts of stuff. So it's like the features of a more expensive, and I'm going to say, but when I say more expensive, I mean $1,000 plus printer.
Yeah, 3D printers.
That's usually around where they start getting good features. Like Prusa printers are like that. But this one, I don't know. It's so like my X1 Carbon printer, it has a enclosure, so the whole thing is enclosed in a box. It helps with the sound. It helps with the temperature. It keeps whatever dust bunnies from accumulating in sensitive
so
spaces.
This one doesn't have an enclosure, as you'll see.
Yes.
Right. So if that's
is a
important
problem.
to you, there are other models, but we like to talk about things that are affordable, right? So when we saw that the A1 model released, well, actually Greg is the one that spotted it, not me.
Well, yeah,
and
they started bundling it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, it does all of the things the bigger one does, just maybe just a little slower, a little less,
without the enclosure.
a little plus.
We
less
thought
plus.
you might be interested in it, so that's why we bought it, and we're sharing it with you. Because after all, we have the other ones, right? Did you lose one?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So did you get all 10 screws in there?
Not quite, but
All right.
almost.
Okay. I'm going to read ahead so that
It would appear they gave me an extra because they knew me. They're like, he's going to lose it for sure.
I'm looking to see how many more steps we have. It doesn't look like that much more. And then it goes into the AMS, right? So
There's also some instructions printed on the side. You can kind of
there
see that there, which is
yeah,
just
right here.
kinda nice,
There's some
yeah.
instructions right here. Yep.
Which is very nice.
Yep.
I appreciate the small things I do.
All right. Linda says, I believe there is an enclosure that you can purchase separately. Yes. So when I was looking, I saw some. There's accessories for sure that you can get, or you can make your own.
Do they have an official one? They might have an official one.
I don't know.
When it comes to 3D printers, especially popular one, Bambu Labs is one of those popular printers. They've really knocked it out of the park, and I wouldn't be surprised if all sorts of people were making cool accessories for it.
Yeah, I saw some off-brands of enclosures. Let's see if there is a.
All right.
Are you ready for the next step?
I think that is done, yes.
Okay. All right. The next step is to lock the base housing. You want to install 2 screws for base housing in the holes highlighted in green.
I think I
Did you do that
did
already?
those ahead, yeah.
Okay. All right. you want to put the cover back now. So just push the heat bed fully to the front where the screw is located. Let me give you the overhead. All right. Gently slide the X-access cover back into place and make sure to align the clip. All right, so right there goes back in.
Seems okay.
Okay. All right.
Nice and clean. I like it's covering up all that schmutz. Oh,
Yep.
look at that. They get a little bonus smudge. Fresh from Jennifer Maker Studios.
Is that
This
from us?
bonus
Did we
smudge.
do that?
I don't know. I probably did.
Probably did. Sorry, guys. All right. All right. So turn the A1 90 degrees onto its rear, laying it on the edge of a table, like shown. So lay it on its rear, Greg. It's recommended to cover the table with cardboard for protection. Okay. So how are we going to do that one?
What's the next step? That will,
The next
because
step-
we're on the camera, we might do it a little differently.
Align the two clips on the cable box with the holes on the base housing. So they won't be able to see if we actually put it on the edge of the table.
I mean, we can try to do it.
I could find something to kind of prop this up here. Maybe that would be useful.
Okay. We're okay. I kind of know where my important components are, so
Okay.
we are taking some risks for the purposes of demonstration for sure. But
All right, so align the two clips on the cable box with the holes on the base housing.
ooh, are we doing this right now? Oh yes, we are. All right, let's take a look at this.
What is that part? Here,
So
do
this
it.
is basically all of the electrical connections that are connecting.
Here, show them on the camera overhead.
Oh, you can see them there. You kind of can.
Yeah.
So basically, these are going from the business end of this unit
Sorry.
through the cables and connecting it to the base. I still don't think they can see it super well. I might try to
Yeah.
go there.
There we go. You can kind of see what we're doing. Sorry, it's not perfect. Oh, you know, I have the phone.
Well, from the front, they might be able to
Would
see
you
it
like
too.
me to get the phone?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I can.
But I think from the front, you could see it
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, we can see that. I might even be able to zoom in a little bit there.
So basically, the cord's just coming around there. And again, this is a part like on other printers, it's kind of stressful, especially if you're assembling from a full kit.
There. I'm holding it too.
Take a quick peek.
So this is the cable
If anybody's ever
box.
assembled complicated stuff on camera, I encourage you to do it.
It's really easy.
Take a look here. All right. There was a tiny cable connection that I had to slide that into position.
Okay. Slide up the cable box until the Type-C cable clicks in place. Do not force the insert. Okay. Make sure the cable box is nice and flush in the slot, and then screw in the pre-installed screw highlighted in green.
I believe it is this one. I can't see the instructions, but
Here. Just make sure.
Right.
Does that look right?
yes.
Okay.
This is just keeping it attached. So we're okay. Go ahead and read the next step.
Okay. All right, so the next step is to plug in connectors. Plug in the 3 harnesses according to color. Tuck the harness into the cable slot and then close the cover.
All right, so what we're seeing is there's 3 little plugs here.
Yeah.
And they are connecting to 3 different little cables. Like she hasn't said yet, but I am sure.
And then people keep asking me what we're doing, so I'm going to modify
That's
this.
a
little-
great question.
I
We
know.
are
I'm gonna
assembling 3D printers.
Yeah, I'm going to update this thing at the top of the screen so anyone who drops by and is like, what are they doing? We are doing
Do you want me
the
to hold, or
Bambu.
do you want me to
Nope.
continue? All right.
A1.
So I'm
then
just running
save
this
it.
little cable, turning it there.
There. now it says at the top of the screen.
There we go. Nice little housing. And then there's a little, looks like a little clip-on
3D printer.
clip-on shroud.
There we go.
And so we have 3 cables, and they all have a little flag on them: yellow, green, white, and that corresponds with a yellow, green, and white port there, which is, again, very easy. And there's only one way to attach them, so almost impossible to mess it up. Done.
Jeannie says this is what usually my husband and I do. I read and he does the assembly. Yeah, we do this a lot, actually. Or Greg just does it. Be honest.
Well, those are just my things. I'm allowed to do that with my things.
All right, the next step is the fold-out touchscreen.
Okay.
And it says fold out the touchscreen. Make sure the touchscreen is in place as shown in the graph.
All right, so I'm going to very carefully flip this over. We have our touchscreen here. And what are we doing with it?
There. All right, so we're fold out the touchscreen. Make sure the touchscreen is in place as shown in the graph.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, well, this seems a little crooked. That seems dodgy. And also, why would they put it on the side if this is supposed to be the front?
Yeah. So
it's because it flips this way.
Yep.
Beautiful. Nice and easy.
That's much better. Okay. Yep. All right, next step. Install the purge wiper.
Also, I don't know if they said here, but there's like a little protective cover.
Yeah.
Maybe we leave it on. We might be able to ship it.
Yeah,
with
maybe
that.
we leave it on for you.
As long as we can interact with the interface.
Okay, so install purge wiper. Push the tool head to the middle of the rail.
The tool head to
the middle of the rail, leaving enough space for the purge wiper installation. Slide in the purge wiper until the unit into the slot at the end of the x-axis.
Now this should be the purge wiper. This is not a feature on every printer.
Tell everybody what a purge wiper does.
So as the hot end here extrudes the plastic out the bottom, like if you, and I'm assuming this is because of like the AMS system specifically, it needs to change filament. So like that hot plastic is dripping down, and if you're going to print up a thing and then switch the colors, like you need to get rid of that little drippy piece off the nozzle end. So usually what happens is the nozzle on these systems will kind of swipe across this little swiper, I guess.
Swiper.
I guess what they're calling it. Yeah, but and then it just kind of cleans it off for you.
It's called a wiper.
Wiper.
Not a
Swiper,
swiper.
wiper. It swipes across the wiper, swiper. Sorry.
It's fine. All right, so install. You have to screw it in.
So right, where are we going?
So slide in the purge wiper unit into the slot at the end of the x-axis.
That looks like it's going to be there.
Yep. So let me switch over so I can see where you're putting it. Right there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you need to install an M3-12 screw, which
purge wiper.
Yeah, so it's labeled, so you don't have to worry about what number it is to keep it in place. Someone is saying they tried to open the 3D printer link and it's saying, oops, page not found. I feel like this happened last time too, and some people could get it to work and some people couldn't.
That is an oops.
Sometimes I think if I'm going to check it right now. Nope, it's working for me. It just goes right to an Amazon shopping list that's literally got just the printer that we're doing and then one of my favorite filaments. That's it. That's all that's in that pit in there right now. So it is working. Maybe try later or try on a different browser, right? Also, remember, you can't just tap on the screen. Sometimes people think you can do that because it kind of looks like a button. I get that. So if it seems like you can, don't just think that. That would be very cool if I could make buttons that you could just tap on, but that doesn't work.
Okay, so it's attached over here. So basically, that hot end is going to go across there, and it's going to hit that in there.
All right.
I didn't explain anything. I apologize for that, but it will make sense eventually. Oh, are we going to AMS? Yep. That's so exciting, actually.
So, we're such nerds. All right, so now it's time to Assemble the AMS Lite. So put the AMS Lite body on the stand, cable on the upward end, and secure the AMS Lite with 4 screws from the accessory box.
Okay, cable on the upper
These
end.
4 right here.
Like this.
Yeah, that looks good.
Well, was much easier to. And then AMS stand screws.
Yep. And so put those 4 screws in. And then you'll need to, then these are for the AMS Lite for the spools holders you deduced correctly. All right, can anyone else get you the link out of just curiosity? It's always possible. I'm the only one in the world that can use the link that you see here at the top of the screen. Does it work for anybody else? Let me know in the chat if it is working for you. Oh, James says it won't work if they're not in the US. So I think that you won't get an oops page. You could get an Amazon oops page. Are you getting an Amazon oops page? It's possible. So yeah, so we're based in the US. We're in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And so all of our Amazon links go to the Amazon US site. So you are welcome to go to, you don't have to buy this on Amazon. We actually got this one on directly from Bambu Lab. So they were having a Black Friday sale. Really good sale.
They still are, in fact.
Oh, okay.
They had I think they had a Black Friday, they had a Cyber Monday, and now they're doing like an end of year sale. I was just on there thinking I needed more printers.
Well, let me work on where to find that, and then I will add that link to there. All right. So, well, they have different. You keep doing that. I'll work on it.
I was distracted by that toy box printer.
They can't see it.
I know. Look at it. It's crazy.
All right. Yeah, I'll see if I can get the link for you on the screen. I will put the link to this printer for both, from the site into the description box if you're watching this on the replay. So I'll figure it out. But they have a site that you can order from too. All right. So you got that done?
Yep.
All right. The next step is to slide the rotary spool holders on all the way in, being careful to match colors to avoid damaging any parts. And they go in like that.
Yep. I got to say, this is really nice. Can we get like a top down there? So first of all, I just want to point out, these are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 on that. The ends are color coded to match these holders. Very nice.
Cool.
I'm seriously geeking out about these. Man. Do we have to give this one away?
You already have a Bambu Lab.
You bet. I don't have this specific printer.
I don't think you need another one.
She just doesn't understand. All right. Yellow. These are just popping on. Green. Green. Yellow. All right. Assembled.
All right, awesome. The next step then is, it is more AMS Lite assembly, and you are going to attach those, basically the things that hold the filament in.
The series of tubes.
The series of tubes.
I guess they're not in series.
Here's your series of tubes.
All right. This is filament. Don't need that.
Oh, yeah,
yet.
sorry. These are the series of tubes. There you go. There's the instructions.
Yeah, so the spools are going to be sitting on these rolls, and then they're going to have to go through the actual AMS system, and then a system of tubes. We always say that here.
I don't know if anyone even gets that reference.
They do, because they're on the internet. Some of them do, I am quite sure.
It's for those who don't know, it is a reference to a quote from Al Gore in the early 90s.
Was it Al Gore? I don't even know that far.
I don't know.
I'm just up on my meme culture, really.
It was a quote from a person who said the internet is not a series of tubes, right? So we often will, whenever we see tubes, we're always
it's a
like,
simplification, but
look,
like
there's a series of tubes.
Trying to explain it. Yeah. So, all right, so this matters a lot here, because if we look at the business end of our unit here, those 4 holes are going to correspond to holes on this thing. So this matters a lot how we do this.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm going to read this just to
Okay.
make sure
Yeah,
we're doubly
no, definitely
careful.
read that for sure. We want to make sure we do it right. I'm getting the link to the Bambu site, so that's why I'm quiet right now. Sorry. I'm working on it.
It is a quiet moment.
I'm looking up the exact one that we ordered. I know that this is important to some people, so there is the link at the top of the screen. If someone could go to that to tell me if it works. So it's link.jennifermaker.com/bamboo, spelled with a U, not, you know, the normal way. So Bambu Lab A1. Please let me know if that takes you right to the Bambu site, where they have a much better price currently, December 7th, 2024, on this exact thing that we got, which is the combo. So let me know if it works. And I'm watching the chat to see if I got it right. Sandy says, while you're on there, Jennifer, you should buy Greg one for Christmas.
Yeah. He'll be very surprised. You know, the thing is,
awesome.
all right,
Okay, it works.
If you get into 3D printing, one printer isn't enough anymore because these are amazing machines. They really are. The one problem with them is if you get ambitious, say, like I do, I do like a lot of scale modeling and stuff. So I will print out a bunch of things that come together to build really large objects. Sometimes the print time is very long on those. Like I have something at the home, it's taking 18 hours for it to print, but it's very large and it's only one of 20 pieces, right? So suddenly you have a need for more printers. If you can swing it, you know, you'll have a whole little, we call them printing farms for that reason, a whole shelf of printers all kind of working together. So, all right, so that is done now.
Many 3D printers.
So it probably looked a little intimidating if you were watching that. I apologize for that. These aren't electrical cables. These are just tubes, but there are two different lengths of tubes I discovered. The filaments will feed up each of these coming from the AMS, and then they all four go into the same spot. It doesn't matter really which order they're in because the machine will know which filament is in which spot. So
yes. All right.
Next step.
The next step is to power it on.
Oh, do they not have us plug the AMS
Oh,
in yet?
maybe they do.
No, just
they probably
let's
do.
check.
Let's just be sure. Okay, so put the AMS Lite to the right side of the A1. Insert the short PTFE tubes into ports 1 and 2, which you've done, right? Clip the black data cable into the organizer. Do you have to do that still?
Into the organizer.
The organizer is this thing.
Oh, yes. That's right here. Yep, we are done.
Okay, we get that. Insert all 4 PTFE tubes into the tool head filament hub, which you've done. And then insert the long tubes into ports 3 and 4.
Yep.
Okay,
Done.
all right. Then it's time to power it on.
So we don't plug this in just yet.
It says plug the AMS Lite 4-pin connector into the port on the back of the A1. So yes.
Okay.
All right, let's show everybody what we're doing.
This one might be hard because now we have stuff attached. Again, I'm very excited about this. It's going to be a huge mess. I apologize. If you look in the back, it's not really focusing. There we go. Those are 4-pin connectors. Also, these are the little things that I really enjoy. So this is the AMS connector right here. There's a second one. That means you could feed 8 materials into one printer.
Well, that's good to know, right?
Yeah.
So good.
So
Good observation there.
For expansion.
You
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah. I do a lot
succeeded at your perception check.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
All right, plug in the power cable and turn on the A1 using the power switch on the back. All right, here is the power cable.
Power cable. Nothing unusual about this one.
Yep. All right, and then let me get the plug.
I just plug in right here.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Plugging it into the back, and that's also where the power switch is. So the base of this unit is getting power, and then that cord we plugged in from the AMS is what's powering that. I would expect it to light up, do something once we switch this on, so keep everything in view.
Do you want to like have this view, or do you want the,
I guess we can
a
start with this
top-down
view.
Okay. It's very messy. What is this piece for?
That looks like a holder for, like a spool holder. Maybe if you're not using the AMS.
If you're not using the AMS and you get it, you don't get the combo. You usually just kind of hang it on the back or something.
Do you see a spot on the instructions for it? Mm-mm. I don't see a place where you might put it.
So yeah, maybe it's just, yeah. I think that you're correct. All right. It also tells you to leave a safety margin of at least 198 millimeters at the back and 90 millimeters at the front.
And that is because this plate will traverse just like a cricket.
Right. Yep.
Forward to back.
The next step is is network settings. Right. So Wi-Fi. So
we should switch it on first, though.
Yeah, it doesn't say to, but sure. Let's go ahead and do it anyways. Switch it on.
Well, unless it needs us to set it up on the phone before we do it.
It doesn't say to turn it on yet. It just...
Let's follow the instructions.
Okay, follow the instructions. Okay.
It uses a system called, the app's called Bambu Handy, I think, right? Bambu Handy?
Yes, and we have it on our phone. Which
is actually very cool because you're actually... Instead of you can actually get like community models to print and stuff off of that. You can watch your sheet machines, even if you have multiple machines, you can control them all at the same time, which is very cool.
However, we're not doing the app yet. We're going to be using the screen. So I'm going to get the phone so that they can see what the screen looks like. So hang on a second. I'm going over to get it. It's over here.
Well, it's turned into the Greg Maker show, and it's not as popular. So you might want to hurry up.
Oh, you're awesome, Greg.
People are still getting an error. See, I'm not sure what to say about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is either. It might just take some time to populate or something. I don't know. When the video is done, like when I edit everything, to get rid of like the awkward stuff.
So you're going to get rid of the whole video? Well, that's a choice, a creative choice.
I edit it in the evening. When I do that, I will make sure all the links are in the description of the video. So don't worry if you want this. Okay. So, yes. So do you want to turn it, or do you want me to just kind of put the phone over there?
You're gonna have to be able to interact with the screen. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what the best
just
way
turn
to
it
do
like 90
you're
degrees.
Have to be able to see all the mess behind us, I guess.
It's fine.
But you're not going to be able to see anything until that power's on.
Okay, so let's try switching over and see what this sees. Okay, yes. I want you to be able to see the screen. That's fine, right? Probably can see there.
Yep.
All right, go ahead
and that's just a little protective film you're seeing there, so.
Yeah. Here, let me angle it up a little bit. There we go.
All right, I'm going to switch it on.
Yeah, because how would we use anything on the screen if it's not switched on, guys? So, yeah, turn it on. What's that for? Did you find another mystery piece?
No, I think this would... yes. So, hand me this.
Yeah,
so if you weren't using the AMS and you had a single spool...
That would be the spool holder.
From what I am seeing here, you would... detach this. Somehow you would attach it onto here.
Oh, there we go.
Just like that.
Good job.
And then the spool would sit on there and the filament would feed through that and then it would go into this.
Yeah. So
we don't need that, which is why it's a extra.
But if you get the one that doesn't have the AMS, that's what you'll use for your filament instead. Okay, so we're going to do the network settings. So we're going to go back over to here. Here's our screen. It doesn't tilt up anymore. This is what we got. All right, so go ahead and turn it on, Greg.
We should show the front view initially.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, like this view?
So you can see it come to life for the very first time. Or not, I don't know.
It's true, it could fail.
We don't fail.
Oh, I see a little button, a little light over there that came on. There we go. Now you should bring it over so that we can see it.
Perfect. It makes a little sound. Mine doesn't do that, so now I want one of these because I don't have a printer that has that function.
Oh my goodness, you do not need a printer that makes a cute sound.
All right, okay, so I guess we can go to the screen. Sometimes these printers, they will kind of check their axes
All right.
on startup, so.
So there it is. Unleash your creativity.
See, how awesome is that?
All right. Well, it just says follow the instructions until you see this screen. Until you see this screen. See that one that says connect to network? We're looking for that one. All right. So let's just start. Select language. Do I just press on it? I do. There we go. And we are in North America.
That explains so much.
Connect to
That's
Wi-Fi.
why it's so
Hey,
cold.
that one didn't take long. Okay. This step enables you to send prints from phones. Okay. We don't want to skip it. We want to actually select the Wi-Fi. All right. Select Wi-Fi only for 2.4. There's all the things that we have on our Wi-Fi network. So I guess that's what on our neighbor's Wi-Fi. I don't see our Wi-Fi on here. Oh, no, there it is. It's right there. Sorry. MakerNet. That's our
Click
Wi-Fi.
on that.
So I'm going to tap on.
If it asks for a password, yes. So we'll
Yeah.
turn the camera away for that.
Because, we should be safe.
They must not know.
What our password is.
That's
it's
right.
It's such a tiny screen. All right.
If they had access to our content for free, I guess they'd just be...
You have access to our content for free. All right. Make sure I got it right. Okay. I'm waiting for it to connect. There we go. Okay. It worked. All right. So we have logged into our account. All right. So now we have to do... Okay. Now it says...
You're going to be scanning a code.
Yep.
And you get to do it before somebody else does it.
Yeah, nobody scanned our code. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I don't think it's actually going to matter. All right, so if anyone's never used a QR code, you just go to your camera there and you hold it up like this. There you go. By the way, a little tutorial on how to use a QR code. Oops, I was too slow. There we go. And you tap it. Your camera just needs to see it, and then it will take you there. Did that not work
I still
for
don't
me?
think you got it.
I have to stay still.
And you might have had to do it through the app, so
There we
we're
go.
going to see.
So I can now show you my phone, okay? There, so there's our actual phone. See it on the screen? So, and I'll move it over so that we're not, just in case it matters for this phone. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna open this page up in Bambu Handy.
Oh, that we can do that.
I know. So I, by the way, have already installed this from the App Store. So if I hadn't installed it, I probably would have asked you to install the app. The app was free. Okay, so don't let that worry you. I'm gonna stick it right here between us. Wait, I'm gonna stick it over here now. There we go. All right, so I've already installed the app so that you didn't have to sit here and wait for me to log in and everything because this is already long enough, right?
But it's just Bambu Handy. It's easy to find.
So it says confirm binding printer with the current account. So I am binding this with the Jennifer Maker account. I will you can just log into this account later or something. Don't worry about this. If you win the printer, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, I'd figure it out.
So I read it and accept the terms and conditions. All right, confirm to bind.
And if
So
we're
that's
wrong, I guess you're getting a new printer.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
We will deliver a working product
Yes.
to you.
All right, so we're just waiting. It's binding right now. So you can see the screen. Okay, yes. Good. I don't know how long it takes. I'm going to scroll down so we can see the comments. Maybe if we all donate $1, Greg could keep it. Oh my gosh. You're guilting them.
That's very kind of you, but I think I will live.
Julie says it looks like a Canadian app. I don't know if you're
It's a
talking.
bind timeout.
Oh, well, let's try it again. Confirm. My phone might need to be on the exact same network. My phone could be on the 5G network.
It's possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm going to work on that, and you can answer questions. I'm going to put this away so I don't reveal our password again. There's the screen.
Questions to...
Yeah, you could.
Sure, I'll answer questions.
While I work on this.
If I see any, I will let you know.
Do you need to scroll or something?
I think you have to, yeah.
Here we go.
Is this how you do this? there's just all these comments, and you're just kind of pulling the questions out there. What if you don't have access to a smartphone? Hey, that's a question I can answer. I don't really use the app on my phone. I use it on my PC.
Yeah, same with me. But we can't. It's easier for us to show you the phone.
I'm assuming it also has a Mac client?
No, it's on MakerNet. It's on the same Wi-Fi. So there's no explanation for it to not be binding. Bind timeout again. So it's not binding. Just going to press the button.
I guess we're just going to try it again now.
Didn't this happen to us last year?
Yeah, with one of the laser cutters.
Yes.
One of them was a nightmare.
Yeah, the
Remember that? We had all
X tool,
sorts
laser
of
cutters. We couldn't get it to connect, and we ended up having to power everything off and back on again, and then it worked. But it took us like 15, 20 minutes of awkwardness on live video to figure it out. You guys were all awesome and sat here with us. But it's okay, right? Because this is how we figure things out. Sometimes things don't go right, and you just have to power through it.
Yep.
Or maybe take a little break, but then you come back to it.
I mean, we're in the technology.
Let's try. I'm going to restart the app.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, we're in the technology game here. We're, in this using crickets and stuff like that. There is additional complexity to all that stuff. If we were just doing, crochet and stuff like that, I'm sure those wouldn't time out on us, unfortunately. But
okay, so let me show you. I restarted the app, and let me just show you what I'm doing. So I went to this at the bottom. Oh, they can't quite see that. It's kind of like cut off. Anyways, it's the little green head icon at the bottom, and then I pressed on, devices actually. I'm pressing on devices, and then I see bind printer. So let's just try doing it here. Bambu Handy would like to access the camera. I'll allow that.
So now you're scanning it through the app.
It says,
this might be better.
Yeah, then it's the scan. This QR code, which I just did.
Takes you straight to the thing. Maybe.
It takes us to the same page, though.
Right.
Let's just see if it works this time. I'll hold it really close. It shouldn't make any difference because it's using the network, right?
Yeah, that shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. But we could try turning this off and back on again if it doesn't work either.
Possible.
So yeah, if you don't have a smartphone, you can use your computer. Yeah, no problem. The software, I much prefer the desktop software than over.
Well, you just have so much more space, and actually,
Right.
Bambu Labs, they have access to like a whole set of community prints, so you can actually go find stuff to I have a printer. What do I print? I'm like, well, they've got thousands of things that you can kind of go through and print.
Okay, so it's not working. I've already tried restarting the app. Do you want to try turning the printer on and off again?
Off.
I'm also gonna restart the app. Okay, so I've closed it. I can restart the phone.
All right, we're gonna go through this again.
But we'll just try this one more time.
Open up your app.
Probably we're gonna keep going, annoying us.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Did it ask you to select language before?
Yes, so we have to do all of that again.
English.
Yeah.
North America, where it is cold for us right now.
It's really cold.
It's all right.
No, it's not.
We live in Michigan. Like we chose this, right? So
I was born here. You chose this. It's been really cold. Okay, not as cold as it could be, but it's been pretty cold. Yesterday when we were setting up the Christmas tree in Dexter, those of you who were here when we were doing ornaments yesterday know about this. My fingers, I had gloves on and my fingers were still just like stiff at the end. We had to like go get coffee. All right, you have to connect to the Wi-Fi again, yeah.
All right, yep, I'm doing that.
I wonder why it's making us do that again, even though we put it in. I think you pressed the wrong one.
I did.
Yep.
It turns out there's a printer in my face.
Here, I know. Let me do it. I can see better.
All right, you can do it. Select for, I see a thing for selecting for 2.4s.
It says only for 2.4.
It's an option, so.
Oh, okay. Well, the only network I see
so
is
that doesn't work. We could select our 5G network. I'm sure most of you already know, but like a lot of your internet, like Wi-Fi and stuff like that, they're either in 5G or 2.4 gigahertz networks. So some devices Just don't like one or the other. So it might require you to, all right, try it again. If this doesn't work on this 2.4, we might try switching to our 5G connection.
This one says login successful.
Hey, we got something here.
Here, let me show them everybody what. Here, yeah, put it back, and then we'll show you what the screen says. It worked. So what did we do that was different?
Well,
we restarted.
You know how tech is. It's sometimes you just.
What we did that was different was we restarted the printer.
We did, and we stuck to it.
Yep.
Because things don't always work. So this did work on a 2.4 gigahertz connection, which is good to know.
All right, so you can name your printer. I don't think it's important that we name it right now.
We got some calibration. See that? 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 15 minutes. So we're going to want to get to those. The printer is going to kind of learn where it's at. It's going to make sure that it knows.
I'm not changing the name.
Yeah.
Okay, so
device is idle. Mm-hmm. Ooh. We got to do this. I'm sorry.
Okay, what do we have to do?
Oh, see, I'm holding my finger over there. Press that little play icon there.
They won't be able to hear it.
They're not playing a video.
What are they doing then?
They are accessing.
It's not working. Oh, what is it?
Well, maybe it's, there we go.
Oh, look, it's
that's actually like a little onboard camera. It's not.
You see me? Kind of.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. It's kind of going slow right now, but it's intended for time lapse kind of things. Oh yeah. So that's kind of cool. But it's actually, interestingly, has like a little cover. So if your prints are feeling shy, you can just make them disappear.
Yeah, there's a little cover. Just cover it up. Oh yeah, there we go.
So like that.
So he just covered it up.
So
that's
if you're
fine.
sensitive about
let's keep it on so they
cameras.
can see it though, because that's useful. They can see. I know it's just a little screen, but you can still see what is going on right now. Okay. Yeah, so we need to do a bunch of calibrations.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like we need to click start, basically. It is going to figure out how to adjust its motor settings to lower the noise. It's going to figure out how to adjust motor settings to prevent the machine from excessively vibrating, and it is going to check the level of the bed. It's very important that this be level.
All right, so let's go ahead and do it. Ready? And then we'll switch. We'll switch.
It might be a little noisy at first, so.
Okay, let me show you what's happening. And here's the overhead. Can you see that? All right, so, and I will just make this screen a little bit smaller. There, so it's not blocking anything.
So can we get the phone view real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Phone view. That's the hot end there that you're looking at. So what it's doing is it's touching the little metal tip down on the surface to see exactly where things are. I think we're going to be answering questions while we allow this to happen.
Oh yeah, we
actually that AutoCal says 28 minutes.
Oh my god, yep. It's already like 3 o'clock. Oh my gosh.
Well, we did start late, so I guess
we
we're
did. But like, will we have time to like print anything? I guess we'll just keep going, right? We'll just keep going and see how it works. John says, "I really like your new printer, Greg."
Thank you. I like it too. To be fair, my Carbon X1, it comes in a big box, and the AMS is a box that sits on top of it. So it doesn't take as much space. Mm-hmm. It's more expensive, it's larger, but at the same time doesn't have this whole separate unit floating out here.
All right, well, let's answer.
It is not noisy. Someone says not very noisy. Linnea Jones says not very noisy. And so far, that is very true. But I don't hear any of the fans turning or anything or that. It has like fans that it uses to kind of push the heat away. You see, someone says, it's only two here.
Keep going.
All right. Well, I can't fight with that.
Is it 2 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Fahrenheit? Because there's a difference. All right. Okay. Sherry asks, what is your favorite 3D printer?
Okay. So I am a Prusa person. I have a lot of Prusa printers. In fact, oh yes.
Can I bring it over?
They're wonderful machines. You know, they come in at about $1,000. They're very nice. They come in black and orange. And guess who didn't like that? which is why this one is painted the way that it is. So this is actually like an i3 Mark III. So they're very simple. There's no camera here. It's like there's no cool touchpad on them, but they're very nice, high quality printers. This one was built as a kit, so every single little piece on here practically had to be assembled, and it takes about 6.5 hours. You get gummy bears, but that's a small consolation at that point.
This is the i3, and this is like
i3 Mark III,
5 years old, so they have.
It doesn't see much use, to be honest, but
it doesn't.
I have other presses. But I gotta say, Jennifer I bought Jennifer a Carbon X1 from Bambu Labs
For Christmas last year.
and then we made this little board game. We were going on a cruise, and like there was like a gift exchange thing, so we made like this
maker exchange.
The maker exchange. So we made a little board game, and Jennifer 3D printed the elements, and I'm just like, I need a printer. So I then got one of those printers, and I gotta say, I really like it. In fact, it pains me to say
it's a Bambu
Labs Carbon X1 or
X1
Carbon.
Yeah.
It pains me to say that I have way more problems with clogs and stuff on my Prusa machine than I have had on my Bambu Labs.
I really like the Bambu Labs.
And considering that, like, you get a printer, but like it doesn't have an enclosure, it doesn't have a camera. You don't need a camera, but like I do love like an enclosure. I actually built an enclosure for mine out of like an IKEA unit. It's actually a rite of passage for Prusa owners. There's like this kind of IKEA little like end table kind of thing. So like we build it into an enclosure for your unit. So right now, I gotta say, my Bambu Labs X1 Carbon, X1C, is my current favorite. But I still run, I also have two Prusa Mark IVs, which I use for certain things. So.
All right, Barbara has a question. How big of an item can you print? And I presume you mean with the A1.
Yes.
So how big of an item?
It is basically 10 by 10 by 10 inches volume.
That's
so you could
big.
print a 10 by 10 by 10 inch cube. That would take a little while, presumably.
So you can totally print this, because this isn't even...
Oh no!
This is not even 10 inches
This is itty
high.
bitty.
Yeah, this is. You can print bigger than this.
If it fits on the. In fact, yeah, give me that build plate off that Prusa.
Oh, yeah.
This has a very similar kind of thing going. It's got a heated bed. So they're actually very similar size.
Yes, they are. They look basically the same size. They're not interchangeable, but yeah.
They could be, but I doubt it. They wouldn't fit in there.
Right.
Exactly. So basically, as long as whatever you're printing fits on the build plate, which it's about that same size. Yeah.
10 by 10.
But you can.
And also, this is 3-dimensional, so 10 inches high too.
Yep.
Right. So that's
A
important.
10 by 10 by 10 inch cube.
Okay. Can we show them the big thing now?
256 millimeters.
Can I show them the big thing now? How it's possible to get bigger stuff?
Okay. All right. I'll carry this. Okay.
Okay, fine. You carry it. Go ahead.
She was like,
drop it.
Do we have any like 3D printed stuff to show you? So I'm just going to show. This is a little, I should say, model of a church that me and my friend Kevin are working on. So this is entirely 3D printed. It's made of a bunch of individual pieces that come together to form the whole, basically.
So you can make much bigger stuff. Now, of course, this will take a long time to print, right? 3D printers are not like super fast, but you can set it and walk away.
And walk away generally. And on the nicer machines like the Bambu Labs machines, you know, if they run out of filament, it's okay. They'll allow you to resume. If you lose power, I think they'll allow you to resume. A lot of the cheaper ones don't do that.
Yep. Awesome. Want me to take it back?
Here, take the tower part off the bottom. Grab the bottom of it.
This?
Yep, very careful. Oh, yes.
I didn't know that it came off like that.
Oh, yeah. No, like when we got to do scale models, we got to do full interiors and everything. We got all the works in there. I
it's
love
all
that
painted on the inside.
So we'll take this out of the way.
So yeah, so you can do bigger stuff, right? Even though you have a 10 by 10 by 10 build area.
You just piece it together and glue the big
Right.
stuff. I will say that church, while it's about 2 feet long and right about 19 inches high, that's still about the third the size of the largest thing I've ever printed. So,
All right. I'm going to find another question for you. Sandra says she loves your church.
I know, it's awesome.
What a great project. All right. Janice wants to know if you've made a 3D print of Maker Farm yet.
So I will have you know that I am designing a 3D model of Maker Farm. Yeah.
Not yet, but
My plan is to
months ago
actually.
you wanted to.
Yes. So I'm going to have like a overall 3D model of it, but then I was also, how I had started is I was modeling every like 2x4 and steel truss in the entire building. So I have a skeleton of the model. So like when we go to plan things like expansions and stuff like that, we can also select like, hey, this is what the situation is.
We could like lift the roof off and
yeah,
say,
you can.
Look
we can
at
kind
all
of
of the parts inside.
Yeah, like hey, so if you want to know, hey, can wires or pipes go through a wall? You can look and say this is the.
That's a great idea. That's a very practical use for a model.
Right. You know, another thing too is at the church I attend. That is so cool. That is true. I've spent more time in that lately than I've been in any other church. So I guess that is technically my current church. So
I don't think that's what they meant. No, it's not a real church. It's a made-up church.
As far as I know, yeah.
What kind of church? Where is it?
I don't know. It could be a horse.
Way nicer than anything around here.
There's such a boom of 3D modelers out there doing this. If you think there's a lot of people out there making SVGs for cutters, you should see the space for 3D modeling. The STL file, the stereolithography file that 3D printers are using. There's massive websites, huge communities dedicated to very niche things. One of the things I haven't done yet, but is on my Christmas wish list of things, is there's actually 3D scanners. It's a handheld device that you basically, I'm not exactly sure the tech that's going into it, but you hold it over in front of an item and kind of give it 360 degrees, and it maps it and turns it into a 3D model. So say if you had a family heirloom or something like that, you could kind of oh, look at it go.
Huh.
It's having fun. What did it say?
I don't know.
Vibration comparison.
Let's take a look at what it says.
So what it is doing effectively right now is it's jiggling itself to see how much it can shake the table. And it's doing a great job. You can tell from the wiggling of the camera. So you'll see it, look at, you can tell it's at 23 hertz right now. So it's vibrating the entire table because it is trying to find the most stable mode of vibration. Look at that, as the hertz increases.
Oh, I remember this from our X1s. Oh, wow. It sounds so funny as it changes the vibration frequency.
I have fillings in my teeth, and I can feel them.
I can feel it on the desk.
Yeah, I could feel them in my fillings.
All right. So.
But so that's cool tech right there. That's not a thing that printers are going to do. Most printers, they'll figure out how far the nozzle is from the end of the bed, or the print plate or whatever.
All right. So
Still going.
I saw another question. It was from Sandra, I think it was, and it was about how do you paint and does paint work on the 3D, on the filament that we're using?
It does. So there's a whole range of products that you can use for filament. Filaments is just a catch-all. The most common stuff is called PLA, which is polylactic acid. In fact, I was looking it up. So PLA is recyclable natural thermoplastic that is derived from renewable resources such as cornstarch or sugar cane.
Yeah,
it's biodegradable basic plastic. It's not UV friendly. You don't want to like print stuff and use it in the outdoor capacity. There are other types of filaments for that, but PLA is the most cost effective. Comes in a range of colors. That you can just paint and prime, or prime and paint rather, quite simply actually.
All right. Yep. Yeah.
Just use
most
normal
of the stuff we
primer, or you can
painted.
use acrylic paints, enamel paints.
Doesn't have to be though. I mean,
oh yeah, you could just throw paint on there.
this is not painted. So you can choose filament that looks good. So like this is like a silk teal blue, and this is just like a matte white, but it's so not painted, but still looks great. Right?
You know, if
So
you're
that's
feeling
another
fancy,
option.
we can show some filaments.
Sure, like let's show filaments. That's a great idea.
Yep.
Let me grab them.
Someone
I'm
said that
feeling
we should
fancy-
probably unbind it from the account before we send it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
yes.
is a good point. We need to remember to do that.
Yes, we will. Okay. So how do you want to do this? I just set them here.
How fancy are we talking?
You're the one that said if I feel fancy.
These are solids, and then that one's a special one.
Oh, well,
Which one would you like to use today?
today
Maybe
a solid. Oh no,
or-
let's do that one. Okay.
All right.
Here. Well, we should explain these because we actually have two different kinds here.
Yeah, we
and then
have a
two
few.
different colors. So let's do the overhead and explain these. So there's the basic.
It is now at almost 800 hertz of vibration. It is now vibrating at such a frequency you can't even see it anymore.
Yeah, really.
It's just pretty fantastic. All right, so yeah, we can't really see that. So these are, this is how the filament from Bambu Labs comes. This is another nice feature with them, is that it's a one-stop shop. They sell the machines. They sell the filament for their machines. They sell all the replacement parts, all that stuff. I am going to and again, I'd like to point different types of filaments. This is PLA. That's our most common thing. This specific printer also uses TPU, PVA, and PETG filaments. I'm not going to go into like the differences between them at this point, but different machines can use different types. So typically, like our X1s can use a whole range of stuff.
Right.
In fact, one of the reasons that they come in an enclosure is that some of the like ABS, it emits like a nasty odor.
ABS is a kind
So
of
having
filament.
like a enclosure that you can use
'Cause it's
things like
sticky.
air filters and stuff from. Yeah. Oh, so I was going to show. So yeah, so like you can buy filament from different companies. You don't have to use Bambu Lab filament and a Bambu Lab print. You can. There's a whole world of filament. Amazon is covered in filament, and they are all sorts of stuff. Like
Yep, I've used
different
non-Bambu
colors,
stuff.
transparents, glow in the darks, all sorts of stuff. There's specifically
Oh, you want
top
me
down, yeah, just I guess if we could see, but it's
to put
nice.
it around? It's backwards.
Oh, you're right. You're always right. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Nice, and it's telling us the color is red. This is PLA basic. It's giving us information on this filament. This is 1 kilogram. This is pretty common for filament.
Yeah. What? Let's show them what it looks like.
Yeah.
Grab the little knife and we can open it easier.
I think this
Okay,
tab
that
just
works.
opens up here.
Okay, so
So this has to be atmospherically controlled. So it's going to come on a spool with a shrink film, and make sure that doesn't bump
I won't.
into
I'm going to
the-
move it out of the way.
Otherwise, it will squawk at us.
Yeah.
The calibration
So
has
this
failed.
is what the filament looks like when it comes out of the box. You want to? We're not using this one, so we're not going to open up this one, right?
we could open it, and then I'll just use it at home.
Okay. All right.
But they can see it. The other option is to open the other one that
Yeah.
we would like to
Yeah,
use.
yeah. You want me to do that?
Would you like to?
Sure. Yeah, just open up the other one.
All right. So this is the one that hopefully we use today, assuming all goes well. Might need a knife for this one.
So we have two different finishes. We have like the basic, and then this one, which is
This is the PLA Silk, which has a shiny, smooth finish.
you want to show on the overhead.
Oh, I thought you were going to show it. So.
Let me just show you the. So see, PLA silk.
I actually love PLA Silk because you can get it in metallic colors like copper and gold and whatnot.
So there's the label. Let's give it a chance to focus for us. Come on, there we go.
There you go.
So it's got a nicer sheen. It's got a sheen to it.
This is Blue Hawaii. This is a
Multicolored.
multicolored filament, yes.
Yeah. And I'll show you what it looks like in the box. So it looks like this. So you can see that it's got blues and greens in it. And this is very pretty. It's very pretty filament, which is why Greg ordered it for us to play with today. Right? I assume.
Yep.
All right. You have the knife? I'll open it.
There should be a little tear tab.
Okay.
Or usually there is. Oh, it's on that side. Do you want me to open it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just open it. And it has a very particular smell when it comes out, and there's a little desiccant packet that's put in there.
And it comes, the bamboo stuff comes on its own spool.
Yeah.
Right. So
That
it's
is
plastic
normal.
spool.
Okay, that is true. It comes on a spool that's normal for filament. Bambu Labs is one of the few companies that they will sell you refills, so you don't have to buy a full plastic spool all the time. Because at the center of this is a cardboard tube,
Right.
and the sides come off of it. So if you're, you want, more environmentally focused, you can just go with the refills. Now you're using biodegradable filaments in a
is what it looks
refillable
like.
spool.
This
so
is the spool.
Yep.
Right.
Look at the color
Yeah,
on the
it's,
side of that.
oh, I know. It's really pretty.
And there's also something else going on here with this filament. I don't know if this printer will do it yet,
Yeah.
but there is like a little RFID tag inside these spools that says what color
Oh,
this
yeah,
is.
that's right.
So
It
on
does.
my larger X1, all I have to do is put it in my AMS system, and it will automatically acknowledge what color it is and adjust it.
I know, it's really
I don't
cool.
know if this one can do it.
I guess we'll
but-
find out
but
when
I
we
guess
get there.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Go to our top down one more time. So I'm just gonna peel the little tape. So there you can see, there is our strand.
I'll film it here.
PLA.
Let me,
Yeah.
let me put it up here. so
In
you can
fact,
see.
if you twist that cable, you will see that the cable
This is
is
it.
not it is not blue and then it turns green. It is the two colors in every strand. It's
see
just
that?
it's which direction you're looking at it from. So this stuff is very cool.
It is.
It's shines. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. I really like the silk, so long as you're okay with that shine, right?
We're going to keep things tight on the roll until we are ready to use it.
Yes, I agree.
Because
you
if
don't
things
want
get,
to.
it's got to unroll it, and if it gets tangled up like Christmas lights, yeah, no dice.
Okay, Janice wants to know how much that roll would be. So how much is a roll of filament? So I'm just go look it up on their site right now.
Look at silk filaments. This was a dual color silk.
This one must not be it.
No, it's a dual color.
I know, I'm looking.
Yep. It was in the previous menu there.
It was?
Yep. Back. Or wherever you were originally.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it. I don't know. Yeah. Oh,
Go
I
to
know.
filament,
Here we
yeah.
go. This is where it
Dual
was.
color silk.
Ah, okay. Let me show everybody what we're looking at.
So this one at its base price is $25 for the 1 kilogram spool. Now, that might seem like a lot, but it kind of also depends on how you're using it.
So this is the one that we ordered right here.
Yeah, that's the one.
Blue Hawaii. They also have Gilded Rose, Midnight Blaze, Neon City, and Velvet Eclipse.
That's new. I don't own that, so clearly I need a bunch of those.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Wanting to buy all the colors of filament is a thing, so be warned right now.
Oh, actually, you should show them the screen and you should show them the filament selection there.
Oh, yeah, up here.
Oh, yes. Feast your eyes.
Look at all of this different filament that is available.
Yeah, just go to PLA Basic, for example. So this is the good starter material. So this is $20 for 1 kilogram. These are all the basic colors it's in. Looks like they got a few on other colors. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so now go back to the forward-facing camera.
Sure.
So, all right, yeah. Maybe you're talking $20. Some filaments are closer to $50, but they're rare. They're special case. Normally, you're going to be looking at $20, $25. You can get cheaper stuff on Amazon, I am quite sure. You can find larger amounts, like 2 kilograms. I've seen all the way up to 5 kilogram spools. That seems like a lot, but again, it kind of depends. If you're printing the things I'm printing, like that church, that will be about 2 full spools of filament. That's a lot. But if you were printing like these tiny little snowmen, you might be able to print 50 of these for
or more. Yeah, it's
off
not
it.
very much.
Because there's also what you don't see in a 3D model really is that unless you've chosen to print a thing out of solid, like in a solid setting, that actually it's mostly hollow. It uses like a infill pattern. It's sometimes it's a honeycomb or something like that. So this is actually mostly hollow. If I threw this in a bathtub, it would float around. Right.
Don't do that though, because it's biodegradable.
It is biodegradable. It will break down. But I'm just saying, this is mostly empty air that I'm holding here. It has a hard shell, so it makes a thick exterior shell of whatever you're printing, and then there's just kind of a lattice to support the structure on the inside. So you get, and that is what is called infill. And when you print an object, you choose its infill.
So Sarah says, it is just like cardstock. How many colors can you get?
What all the
it's
time.
Like that because
there's more and more
you always need like, oh, you need this color.
Now me,
or you need this sheen.
I like
or
to
this
paint.
Type.
I like to paint my stuff, so I typically just use whatever's cheap of good quality.
Right. And then
so like this is an awesome little snowman or whatever. I forget exactly what we did. So Alexa designed it. I just did a quick little paint job for it to give it somebody.
But didn't she use like a weird color?
Yeah, it's blue. And this is blue filament. Nobody wants that filament. But it doesn't matter because I just painted it, right? So
right. She always uses weird colors because it doesn't matter, right? She'll just paint it.
Yeah,
right.
if you're going to paint it.
Yeah.
know. I mean, you could just spray paint this stuff, pretty easily. So.
Yeah. Okay. I saw a comment here. I just have to respond to it. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh boy.
I don't know where it went now. There's a lot of comments in here. Someone said we're doing a good job. This is it. Cindy says, the intricacies of this machine are amazing. Both of you are amazing salespeople for this machine.
Well, we haven't printed anything yet, so let's see how that goes.
We're not trying to sell you on it. Don't forget that. We're really just trying to evaluate it. So we're not really, if we do like the other printers that we have. I just don't want you to think that's what we're trying to do right now. We're really just trying to play with toys with you, essentially, and together we can evaluate it and decide if we think it's good or not, because we will be 100% honest about whether we like it or not.
I will tell you,
don't forget.
Among my friend group, I have something of a reputation. And that reputation is that I am an enabler of hobby stuff. If a person wants to get into a thing, I will go to extreme measures to make sure they get into it, right? So it's like, I'm thinking about 3D printing, and I'm like, okay, well, why don't you come over to my house? We're going to do this whole thing. We're going to print all these different things up. Like, we will do that. Or like, oh, hey, it's your birthday. Like, hey, we got you a bunch of 3D printing stuff. Like, hey, you've been using that 3D printing stuff I got you for your birthday. It's an overlay. Are we trying to sell you on it? Like our money matters, like, and it shouldn't be wasted. If it doesn't interest you, it doesn't interest you. For me, like, I'm not scared of laser cutters. I'm not anything. Like, I've done blacksmithing. I've done, plasma cutting. I've done welding. I've done woodworking. I'm happy to make the purchases, and admittedly, I tend to try to buy top shelf because I do believe that you get what you pay for. But when I see opportunities like, hey, this would be a really cool way to get a person started into 3D printing. Like, I mean it, because one of the things, like in 3D printing specifically, someone will buy, like, a son or a daughter, a 3D printer on Amazon for $200 or $300, and they'll make cool things, and they'll talk about all the great things their kids are doing that have made with it and stuff like that. But then I also think that I'm like, just for a little bit more money, they could have an incredible machine, like an absolute game changer. Like people have built, there's people that now professionally just design models for 3D printing. Etsy is full of 3D print farms. These are people that have 50 printers, careers. And that's all they're doing out of their garage. They turn their garage into a big print farm.
Right, and they just make things for others. That's all I do.
So are we trying to sell you on this? Well, we bought it because we you know, we generally don't buy junk. If we
yeah,
don't think it's going to
right.
work, we're going to be like,
I would say that we're both enablers. We
are
want to
enablers,
see
yeah.
you make things, but we want you to make it things that are right for your budget.
Right.
So we're never ever gonna like be like, oh, you should just buy this. Also, as a reminder to anyone who doesn't know how we work things, we don't accept money. No one can sponsor us. No one can buy our opinion. We're completely independent on everything we do. So all the tools that we choose are the ones that we like, not the ones that someone is paying us to talk to you about. So that's important to always remember, right? I wonder how we're doing.
We're at 99% calibration. So we are moving on to the print now.
Oh, okay, good. Is it going to do a sample print? Should I switch to the other camera so we can watch it?
Well, we have to choose that. So it seems like we have some options here. There's like some beginner stuff.
Beginner tests. They want us to learn the printing guide for beginners and initiate and complete a print from the handy. Can we just skip to number 2?
You could do that. They're going to make you print something from...
Learn printing guide. Should I just press on that? I just pressed on it.
Well, that's just going to be a tutorial on how to do all this
We have
stuff.
to install page. Automatic identification of bamboo filament.
There we go. That's what I was hoping to see. That means like you could actually see the AMS from the X1.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the regular.
So
AMS
that's the
that
full
we have
size.
at
This
home.
is the light size.
Yeah, that's the light one.
You might be able to use that with this, but they don't bundle it, so I don't think it's ideally designed for it.
So I think that it's not telling us to put the filament on, but unless it was on the previous page.
We can go to the next one, I guess. Just go next page.
Okay, next page. It's just like walk through them. Oh, so it's a tutorial. It's telling you about the build plate types.
There's all sorts of different build plates.
Yep. And then how to clean them.
Yep.
That's important, right? So that's all in there.
I just touched it, but generally don't touch it. For when it gets warm, but the other is that oils from your skin will get on the plate, so you would try to keep it as clean as possible.
It's telling you how to search for models. Right?
This is through their handy app.
Sorry.
They have a whole community of models on there.
Yep. So, and then how to print with your AMS, and how to print with an external spool, and how to print from the printing history. So it's just a little tutorial on how
So we
to...
could probably figure this out. Look, there's Benchy. If you've ever seen that little tugboat, that is Benchy. That is a model that, I forget exactly what the origin is, but it is universally the model you use to test your printer, a new printer, to make sure that it functions.
Yeah, it's the little tugboat. All right, and next page, how to get help and open a ticket.
Yep, all useful things.
All right, finish. We finished the tutorial. Ooh, we get points.
Ooh, you get points for doing. Well, hey, that's something. They know how to get Jennifer's attention.
All right, initiate and complete a print from the handy. I'm going to tap on that. All right. They want us to pick something.
Yeah, so they're showing you like...
Easy. So there's Benchy right here.
There's like
so I'm going to go
Benchy.
ahead and tap on that. So this is like the classic test of a 3D printer. So maybe we should install some filament.
Yeah, I think we should. So, yeah, you can see like 91,000 people have downloaded it just from there. And Benchy's available across the internet, so that's just in this app alone here.
Yep. All right, well, let's put some filament in. Let's show them how to do that.
Is that the number of makes? So there's 94,000 made, but 91,000 downloaded? That means some people are building surplus Benchies is what that means right there.
I think that's what that means, yes.
Yeah. And again, you can use this app to bring in your own models and stuff. The Benchy is it's an adorable little boat, but it's actually designed to calibrate it because I don't know if you covered this, but this filament, it's going to lay it down in layers. It's going to go around and lay it little pancakes. It's going to build a stack of pancakes in the shape. So what happens if you look at like the Benchy there is material that is overhanging empty space. So how do you lay a stack of pancakes over each other to build a curve like that? Well, it is a very precise balance of adhesion and speed and stuff like that to get curves like that. So that's one of the things that this tests. Filament printers, or FDM printers specifically, struggle with that because you can't just print in midair. You have to have something underneath it. So, Did we want to try doing a benchy?
We can try, but we got to get filament in here first.
We can certainly do that.
Let's do filament.
Okay. Well, if you go, well, I guess you'd have to go back to the main app because we're going to have to go to load.
All right, so I'm going to go back to, I'm going to get out of this little tutorial. All right.
There should be somewhere in here, and again, I load mine.
Devices.
So this is showing our.
This is showing our.
So
there we
in
go.
there. All right, so we can actually see. I wish you could show it there. So if you look down there at the bottom, we are seeing diagnostic data from the printer. It is 55 degrees Celsius from the hot end. It is 42 degrees Celsius on the bed, and I think its speed is currently set to 100%. Mm-hmm. The AMS, the system under that, is showing 4 empty slots. There is no filament in that.
Right,
so when we go to load filament, in fact, you might be able to click the first bubble.
Okay, I'm tapping on the first one. Nope, it doesn't.
Or maybe click the AMS.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Okay, yep, so choose a slot, then press load or unload to load or unload the filament.
So we're going to choose slot number 1.
All right. Can we change the...
It needs to be on the right of the printer.
Yeah, I know. So they need to see us load the filament. I find the loading a little tricky, so I want you to see it.
We might be able to get it over there a little bit, so tricky. Well, we're going to be putting it here, so they'll be able to see some of it. We could angle it.
No, I don't want to angle it. No. Can I?
The other option is to angle the printer facing out.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's angle it facing outward.
You gently move it there.
Okay.
Once a printer is calibrated, generally you want to put it where it needs to be and then calibrate it. But
yeah, there we go.
For this,
can we see
keeping everything
overhead?
on a nice level?
Yes,
it's underneath that.
I know.
Yep.
If I move that out of the way, we can.
You can see all the little AMS ports flashing at us to let us know that they are good to go.
Yep. Move it forward a little bit so they can see that clearly, and I'll move all of this stuff out of the way. Or actually, I forgot. I've got this phone right here, and we could just use that. Maybe that's a better idea.
Well, between the front, that, and this, we can figure it out. So maybe you can hold the phone when we're doing it.
All right.
So you need to select a slot number 1, preferably.
It doesn't let me select a slot.
Oh, does it not? Choose a slot and then press. Oh, probably they just mean that we just choose one.
Like literally choose it. Yep.
So this is number 1. This is number 2. This is number 3. This is number 4. So it looks like this one loads. So the filament is going to load from the underside. So I don't know how you want to do.
So maybe the phone.
Yeah.
And I will just follow you with the phone as you do it. Okay, so hang on. All right.
All right.
All right, so here is...
So you see we have this slot here. This is our number 1. The spool's going to fit right over it. And then there's going to be tension on it. So it's holding it in place. But see how the thing spins freely? All right. So... where's our little snippers?
Right here.
This is a habit from being a Prusa printer. We need this little end to go into the underside of this. But us Prusa guys always trim our filaments at a bit of an angle.
Okay, so
you see that?
Yep.
Just trim it. Because we're going to be poking it through a hole on the underside here.
Okay, so let's get under there before you do it. So they can see underneath.
In there?
Wait.
It's going to go right in there.
Make it this. There we go. Okay, go for it.
Figure out exactly how it feeds in there.
You're just basically just poking up as far as it
So
goes.
now it's grabbed it. So it is pulling it in by itself right now. So there's no hands on that. In fact, if you look up here with the phone,
I see.
quickly.
What am I looking at, Greg? Oh. So.
Oh, I don't know if you can. Oh, see that mess? I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about our mess. Who cares?
You could actually see the filament inside the tube there.
Yep.
In fact, if you look at our interface, it now shows an entry too. It will say PLA and it's showing the color blue. It read the RFID tag on there or whatever they call it and put that into the settings.
Let's take this back over here. All right. Yep.
All right. So that's loaded. So you could load 4 different materials.
That was
at this
actually
point.
pretty easy.
Yeah, it was fine.
All right. There we go. Can you press the button still? Okay.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Use that. Time lapse, bed leveling.
Next.
Flow calibrations.
Okay, so it's showing a filament that we have loaded.
So it's showing the AMS unit.
That's the
I've
PLA basic.
selected that one.
Okay.
I'm seeing. Hey, there's something. I honestly.
You moved it now. We can't see that.
We can.
Yeah, move
yeah,
that.
but they can see from the front view too. Here.
We can't. Oh, you're just trying to show that. I see. Got it. Okay.
Oh, we could show that, but honestly, you could just probably come into device there on the screen. So you can see kind of like the same basic information.
Mm-hmm.
You could even press the little time lapse if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. It says homing the tool head. There we go.
All right. Well, honestly, I feel like maybe the firmware fixed whatever it was doing. It got stuck on something.
Yeah.
We'll
That
see.
sounds so familiar. I feel like we just need to remember this. If ever we have issues, check the firmware. I guess that's just an important thing, you know. But like, I still don't understand why. If maybe it wasn't connecting properly, it couldn't check.
So
the
if we see
firmware
up at the
itself.
top, it says it's changing filament. So this thing has to be sufficiently hot. The right filament has to be gone in there. And just kind of like a bit of fun data here. So if you're looking at our phone interface on this side, you'll see it says printed layers. That's how many of those little pancakes it's going to require for this model to be built. So it'll print one layer at a time and then go up and do it again. And then that is showing you kind of 0% progress and 20 minutes remaining. I don't think we're printing yet.
No, I don't think so.
You might see a little bit of that red filament pop out the bottom there.
It's going to do the whole vibration test. It does
Yep.
like a shortened version.
Well, it's
for
going to
every
figure out a way to, kind of optimize it. Yes, Aaron says, 192 layers. Indeed, but they will go a lot faster than you think. We're at 19 minutes and counting.
Well, that's a lot better than the 45 minutes that we saw.
Yep.
We can handle that. We can handle 19 minutes. We have been here for 3 hours and 13
I
minutes
know.
already. We can handle 19 minutes.
This time yesterday, we would be at like the Dexter Village Green decorating our sponsored Christmas tree.
Yes.
That's where we were. So, we were.
We did pretty good yesterday.
One of the things that, because I'm always trying to find
this would
for
show.
Jennifer Maker specifically, like it's hard to sell. Sometimes it's hard to sell laser cutters. Sell you on the idea of them, or 3D printers, because what do you make? Like, what do crafters like you make? Like, would they, for example, the Cricut audience really take to it? So it's finding projects that would appeal. And so, like, every once in a while you do things like when you realize that this can make really elaborate, like spiraled Christmas tree ornaments. These machines can do this. You could print 100 of them for $15. You could design them yourself, print them in any number of materials. Cleaning nozzle tip.
Oh, okay.
So now we're getting very close. This is the auto bed level, so it's going to touch the little tip to the bed and then move the bed around because it needs to know exactly where the bottom is. It's completely blind. It's not really looking for it, so it's relying on things like distance, heat, speed, temperature.
Era says, I took you guys out with me to do errands today.
Yeah.
Awesome. You just put us in your pocket or in your purse. That's awesome. I have done that before, actually, so I know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
the soothing sounds of our voices.
No,
Encouraging you to do your daily
I have been on live
routines.
videos where I had to do something, so I just took the phone with me as I went.
Yeah. I think the thing here is like technology is formidable. It's like don't give up on it if there's an issue. But here's the thing: if we went with the cheapest possible printer, like the chances of there being a thing that's going to make it unusable are much higher than a more sophisticated system. Frankly, there's way more expensive printers than this. So this was kind of like, we're like, well, even at, what is the price of it right now for the combo?
The cost of the combo is 400 something.
Like,
that's right now.
That ain't chump change.
469. No, it's not.
Yeah, if it's
That's
just
the
gonna like
combo.
sit around and never get used, like,
Right.
yeah, that's an awful lot. You know, that's a, you know, that's a lot of groceries.
All right,
for
what's it
that, but
doing?
It is auto bed leveling.
It's still leveling. Oh, it's doing it.
Oh, there you go. So what these are is it's laying out some little bits there. Look,
It's cool. It's doing it. Yay.
now you might have seen that looked almost like it was writing something on that plate. It was. There's text written into the underside of the benchy. Look at it's jiggling everything.
Yes. Sorry. It's really jiggly.
You could print your own cuties. Don't tell Cricut. I'll tell you what.
Yes, don't do that because it's like a trademark violation, guys.
Yes, but you would
Unless
be
they
able
don't
to build a
know.
very large. You'd print a very large one, yeah, if you did.
People do that, and then they get in trouble.
Yeah. We didn't advocate for it.
No, we didn't. We didn't tell you to do that.
So if you look there, you can see the layers kind of ticking down. It's also worth pointing out that sometimes prints do fail. They will lose bed adhesion, like this will pop off. That is a possibility for our print here. That's just part of it. A lot of us have to, when printing, if you lose bed adhesion, you have to like go into the settings and make sure that, like a Cricut, it's applying more pressure. It's like printing tighter to the build plate. So far, this seems okay.
So, the camera, can you change the position of the camera at all? Because this isn't, it isn't great. The one on the X1 carbon is so much better than this one.
Yes.
I can barely see what's happening there.
Yeah, so you're just kind of saying, yeah.
It's just a cursory camera.
It doesn't seem to be a very good camera, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
But
kind of looking at it from the side.
If you were wondering if your machine was still printing when you're out of the house,
right,
or you're worried that something went wrong,
right,
which again, this machine will tell you. Like if our little benchy popped off the thing and it wasn't able, it would stop. The whole machine would pause. It would send us an error saying like, "Hey, man, benchy's gone out on a little adventure or whatever." I don't know if we can do it very well here. You can look there. There is a look at the infill. Kind of. It's hard to see because it's wiggling around. But see how it is not a solid object? That is the infill. That is why it's not like one-for-one volume. And that saves you a lot of material. And it isn't very loud. I think the X1's probably louder than this. And it's even in an enclosure and it's still louder than this.
It is louder. Yeah. It's got its fan is something about it. I agree, it is louder. So this is actually not bad.
Also, it's moving at a pretty good clip. I'm impressed with the speed. Not as high as the
This
X1,
is not this is not a refrigerator. This is definitely louder than a refrigerator.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's right in front of us, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was the corner of the room, it does noticeably shake, like, whatever it's on, so you want to make sure it's sitting on, like, a good, stable surface. This desk is not, incredibly stable, unfortunately. So there is a risk that it will fail. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. That's kind of cool.
Oh, see, our AMS isn't stable there, so.
Yeah, it's like jiggling on the mat.
Jiggling on the mat.
It's not that bad, this table, but yeah, it's kind of,
right.
I mean, it's a big table. I'm going to try another camera just for fun. You can kind of see a little bit there. I forgot about this camera. You can see how it's really moving here. The AMS. Yeah, I'm surprised at how much everything is moving around. And then this one. So what we're making right now is called Benchy, and it does look like a little tugboat. And Benchy is the standard for testing a 3D printer. So
Kind of
I
the,
saw someone
the
ask.
unofficial benchmark. Get it? Benchy benchmark.
Yeah.
So, and this is also the speedboat race. So, like, I think the idea is that, like, you know, basically you have speed and you have quality. So you kind of have to balance those. So we are moving at a pretty good speed, obviously. If it was much slower, like if it was half the speed, it would take twice as long, but the quality might be better. But there is a bit of a diminishing return on there. You can only slow it down so much. Because you also have, again, it's like stacks of pancakes, right? You can choose how thin those little pancakes are, and then that increases your level of detail. But also, like, so if you double the speed, you might half the quality. If you double the amount of layers and make each layer thinner, you double the amount of layers necessary to print and slow it down, right? And then all of this has to be, like, it sounds more complicated than it is. Normally the printer can figure this out for you. We hadn't really talked about it because we're not doing a tutorial on it, but basically printers are using something called G-code. So you give them a 3D model, usually in the form of an STL normally, and then that contains the data, and you're able to, like on the desktop version, you're able to like place it exactly where you want on the bed. Maybe I want to print 20 of these at once. You could do that. This seems a little more limited, to be honest. It didn't ask us where we were going to put it or in it. Maybe it's in there somewhere. But the desktop version is way more
you can say I want it to be in a particular spot.
Also,
on your
you
plate.
can change colors, but it's like, how do you go about doing it? It's not just changing them before the print. In the desktop version, you can choose which parts of a single model to color, and it will stop, change the thing, and then print it again.
Yeah,
right?
it's actually, that desktop app is really cool. You can do a lot more than you might think you could do.
It's far more sophisticated than I think. That's kind of my problem is I'm like, why can't I do all of the things I'm used to?
Yeah.
And, you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we could have demonstrated with the desktop app instead. But
it's possible that we
thought this would be better
those
because you
options
could
might
see
be
it
in there.
as we were working with it, right?
But it's just kind of, here you go, you can have these.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks so much, Greg.
You're welcome. We are 7 minutes to go, 72 of 192 layers.
Also, the plate itself did not need anything on it.
Right.
We didn't have to put anything.
There's some plates that, like, once they heat up, they allow the plastics to stay a little sticky, right? So right now it's a little bit molten on the underside, which is why it's attached. So that's fine. There's also texture on the plate, which gives it something to grab onto. Some people, like with my presser printers, I just usually use the plate and it's fine. On the Bambu printers, they actually have a like a glue stick and a liquid glue kind of thing. You actually like just rub on the plate and it actually sticks the model to it.
The plate I use.
So with the Bambu stuff, I do that, which originally I thought was pretty bad. I'm like, why am I using a glue stick to hold a model to a thing?
It's a special glue stick.
It is a special glue stick. I guess so.
It's not Dollar Tree
one more
glue
thing you
stick.
have to pay for. It's one more thing you have to ship in.
You have
I didn't have to do it with the presser, but some people do it with like my presser printer. So yeah, it's hard to say.
So 6 minutes to go.
It's one of those things that you just kind of feel it out, and if your model keeps popping off, and all you have to do is use a special, don't use a normal glue stick, use a specially designed glue stick. But because also when it's time to clean off your bed, you can just put it under hot water and it washes away.
Right. All right, I'm gonna get some questions. I know there's some more
let's hit
questions
'em.
here.
Someone says you can use a normal glue stick.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
I would try
we've
it.
always used the Bambu one.
I would try it. Yeah.
Kelly says you can also use hairspray.
I wouldn't thought that would stay tacky long enough.
Maybe it only
But
needs to be a little tacky.
that's another fun experiment to try.
Yeah.
The reason I don't like putting stuff on the build plate is because it's a machine that's precisely calibrating like the distance to the build space, and then you're like smothering it in glue, and I'm like, well, that's going to be inconsistent. For like the engineering part of my brain says, well, that doesn't make sense. That's an irregular surface. That's not a smooth surface. You know, what if the glue doesn't cover every little thing? Maybe it's fine. I would experiment with that, a normal glue stick.
Yeah.
Next time I have a plate that's going to wear out, because you can replace them, but I've only ever replaced one plate in 5 years. So.
Sherry wants to know, how hot is the item when it's done?
Oh, you can touch it with bare fingers. Maybe not the very bottom of it.
Yeah. Pam wants to know if this needs to be used in a well-ventilated area.
Depends what kind of filament you're using. This is PLA. It does not. There's a slight smell. To be clear, there could be people with specific health risks that it might be affected.
That's true.
But generally, you don't ventilate for things like PLA and stuff like that. Things like ABS absolutely do not breathe anything toxic, because, I mean, these are thermoplastics. They are getting hot enough to off-gas, and you don't want that stink in your house, and you certainly don't want it in your lungs.
Right. Patrice says, what file types are used for 3D printing?
STLs, normally. There are other file types.
Yes, STL.
Well, like this, it's like lightning round of questions. Like I could totally
I want to note, we actually did design one this morning before we came here to demonstrate with you.
Yeah,
because
like right before, yeah.
we are having issues, we're just going to go with bedsheet. But we did make one.
We did.
So when we normally make them. Let's see here.
And again, those 3D files, there's different varieties. STLs is the most common, but they're going to go in there. They're going to go into a software called Slicer. In this case, into a slicer. Mm-hmm. In this case, the Bambu Handy is the slicer as well. It's going to take that model, and then it's going to make what's called G code, and that's the language that the machines read. And each machine has its own dialect, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of specific. So if you, for this, it needs to be sliced for the A1. So
L. Johnstone says, I have concerns about the plastic being used. Do we need more plastic items? Ultimately, a lot of these types of plastic items end up in landfill or the oceans.
So PLA specifically, which is what this is completely biodegradable, and it's based on cane. It's actually it is derived from renewable resources such as cornstarch and cane sugar. And so as far as the terrible things in the landscape, like, yeah, it's lower on the list.
Do we know how long it takes to biodegrade?
That's a good question. But I'll tell you that this benchy wouldn't survive out probably a year. It would,
I'm going to Google it now.
Fall apart very quickly. Exposure to UV, exposure to water, it's just going to kind of break down. That being said, obviously, like
okay.
I like
got the answer.
Go ahead.
PLA breaks down a few days to a few months. So it is not like 5 years, 50 years, 500 years. It breaks down really quite quickly. However, in a typical environment like a landfill or the natural world, it can take significantly longer to break down.
Oh yeah, I guess if it's buried in a bunch of
yes,
yeah,
if
but
it's buried
under
in
a bunch of junk.
Stuff. Yes,
and it's fair. It's a fair criticism of it, but I also do think that 3D prints are not like plastic bottles. You know, it's not like they're being like they're being deliberately made and usually used for specific things, little toys or little fidget things for your desk. I'm sure they're getting thrown away. But generally, it's using up the filament. There's also filaments made of recyclable materials, but
it's almost done. Yeah,
it
says
we're 160 of 192.
Yeah, so we can see the very end of it as it finishes up.
But I think that the general thing is to always just be responsible with that stuff in general. If you can avoid going, further polluting our world, that's a great thing.
So yeah, my suggestion would be not throwing it in a landfill at all.
Right.
And I bet you there's things that you can do to break this down faster, or yourself before it gets discarded, if that's a concern. And it should be a concern because it's important that we protect our environment.
Oh, there you go. There's a little benchy.
Awesome. We have to show them how to take it out the plate now.
Yep. Well, it's going to pop right off once it cools down. Yeah, there's one nice advantage is that there's much less waste product off of a 3D print. It's usually using it. The only thing that's waste from this is these two little tiny strands.
Yeah, can
on
you
the
see
build
those?
plate here.
You can kind of point.
Yeah, you can see them.
Kind of
So
point them.
to kind of get that nozzle clear, it will print those things. I actually have a like a 5-gallon bucket. I like that. It's like we're in like an old arcade or
I
something.
know that's what it sounds like.
I actually collect all my little scraps because it will produce these tiny little things, and so I put them in a 5-gallon bucket. 5 years of printing and thousands of hours of printed. I haven't even filled a quarter of my bucket yet. So the plate here. Can you scroll down on it just to see there? So we can see some kind of temperatures there. Again, the hot end is always pretty toasty when it's running. It will heat up when it's getting ready to do a job, but in its neutral state, it's not too hot. So, but definitely avoid going anywhere near that. Though I can tell that they have some nice kind of protective buffers around that one.
That's good.
If you have like young kids or like a
might
cat, I think this would be dangerous territory for cats. There's a lot of moving things that they might hit. Also, things like hairs and stuff that get on this plate.
Yeah, you would want an enclosure, I think,
Right.
if you've got cats.
So, like,
on our cat.
and our build plate is warm here by design, but like I can actually pick it up here. Sometimes these models will just kind of pop right off, but all right.
Hold it up closer to the camera.
The top one?
Yeah, here. Oh, yeah, you
Which
can
camera?
see this camera. So bring it up here.
All right.
There we go, like this. There we go, like that. And you want to demonstrate popping it off?
Yeah, I mean, once this plate cools down, this thing will kind of mostly lose adhesion anyway, because you want this to be a little cool. I took it off that plate because that plate down there is what's heating it up.
Yeah,
But literally, you can see it stuck on there pretty well.
yeah.
But they normally just pop right on off.
And this is what it looks like.
And you just return the plate.
Yeah, so you can see the little strands there. You'll get those tiny little filament strands in there sometimes. Those come right off, no big deal. But that is our benchy. Isn't that cool? And it's, it's solid. It's not like flexible. Whoops. Sorry.
It's yeah. I think that. Can we have this camera?
Yeah, totally. Just a second. There you go.
You can see it. So you can actually see, if you look here, you can kind of catch those lines a little bit. You can kind of see them. I call them striations. Most people do. You can see a couple of little fuzzy hairs. Those would just come right off there. But I mean, it feels like just a little plastic toy. It's mostly hollow. You can see that's that text.
What's on the bottom there?
I think that's like the creator CT3D. .xyz.
But that's a website.
I bet.
I don't know.
I'm not advocating you go to it.
Yeah, don't go to it.
But,
We know it's there.
So yeah, like this is just a simple little benchy. It's like used very little of our filament.
Yeah.
You could do a great many of these at 12 grams a piece and 1,000 grams on a spool.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So I think that we have successfully completed our play test. I see Inga asking if it's resin. This is not resin.
It is
this
not.
is a filament 3D printer.
I do that as well, and that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
That is not a thing
live.
I advocate most people do, just because it is like
of resin. Because of resin. That's why.
It's like you have to take a lot of safety precautions, and then you're left stuck with like a byproduct that's hard to dispose of. So
Diana asks if it can be sanded to a smooth surface like wood.
absolutely, you can do that. I do that all the time. Actually, one of the things I like to do is use a filler primer. So there's automotive primers that are called sandable filler primer, and they are like when you spray them over an irregular surface, they're a little bit thicker, and they tend to kind of fill the gaps. And so you just spray that, and then you can go fine grit sandpaper. Some people use like Bondo, things like that. Some people just use multiple coats of spray paint. There are professional products, you can get too, to like little brush-ons. But they're generally fine. What you'll find is that like the sides of your surfaces will be very smooth, very nice. This is done fast, so they get much better quality than this. But this is okay for such a speedy print. I mean, if you just wanted benchy ornaments, oh man, I could have had a 3D printed benchy tree. Like this is kind of a cool little tool. Like this is, actually we'll show it here.
You probably put it on the thing.
Yeah, there's some kind of weirdness. So this is a couple pieces, so you can kind of see this is a Prusa printing machine, a very similar one. So these were both kind of done under similar print conditions. So good quality, I think. For a machine that costs a third as much, that has a bunch of additional features, man, I do like it.
All right, and there's a question here. Bobby says, how do you get rid of the strands?
Oh, those little ones there in the middle, you can literally just, if you're just like a wire brush or toothbrush, you can just knock them through. They're barely in there. There's nothing too crazy. You can literally just kind of scrape them off in most cases, and most of them will disappear.
Okay.
Or if you're feeling, some people will use like just if you have like any sort of like even a hair dryer will activate those fibers and kind of make them go away too. A lighter, yeah. Kim
wants to know how long this big one took. This one, oops.
So this thing, that's a whole crazy thing.
Yeah, that took quite a while.
So this is actually the center is actually two pieces, a bottom piece and a top piece, and then there's two wings, and then the drawer is a whole separate thing. Total, maybe 14 hours.
Yeah,
it's not the fastest thing. It's a set it and forget it kind of thing. Again, I have something at the house that's been printing for like 18 hours at this point.
Is it printing right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It should still be printing right now. So it will just be waiting for me when it's done, you know?
Yeah, and that's a good way of thinking about it, is that's how that works. So, by the way, this STL file is on the JenniferMaker.com blog if you get a 3D printer and you want to make it.
That was one of the very
There's no tutorial
first
for it,
models
however.
I ever made.
Yeah, it was. This has been so useful.
I haven't put a lot of models out there. I do a lot of modeling these days, but I generally don't put it out in the community. And people are often like, where's the model for that? I really need to do that. I need to do more models.
He makes things for us, for Jennifer Maker, but we don't always share them because it's a lot of work to share.
We have the Maker Farm coming up. And like one of the things I've always really liked about that is this, given the nature of it, you can design full drawer organizers. If you have like pegboards, you can design holders that fit into that. You have like storage cups for pens and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, like in a organizational way. It's like Jennifer's Carbon, she actually has this 3D printed, and it's like an organizer case for all of the accessories that comes with the tree. So she printed it up, and it sits on top of the unit, and it gives you places to put your tools and all sorts of things.
I didn't design it. It was in the library on the app. Yeah, it was just out there, freely available. So thank you, Erin. The 3D printed tool holder is at jennifermaker.com/3D tool holder. I appreciate that. Betty says, what happens if you run out of filament at hour 12? Does it alert you?
This printer, it will put it on pause, and then you can come and replace the filament, and it will resume where it left off. It also does that if you lose power in the middle of a print. So they say. I haven't tested that out, but...
Okay, I'm looking for more questions. We want Greg to have a Greg Maker showing his talent also.
Well, hopefully you will see any of my alleged talents at the Maker Farm project, because there's some stuff out there already. So
yes,
yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking for any. I'm going backwards. So, how difficult was it to design the tool cubby?
Oh, it wasn't at all, actually.
What software did you use for this?
So,
Do you remember? It was an easy
I'm
one.
going to say it's embarrassing, but
No, it's
it isn't
not.
really, because it
It's
was
not
it was
embarrassing.
very it was when it was my first model, and I'm like, okay, let's look into it, right? And I'm like, what can I use? And I actually had found that there was this software that's kind of educational use, and it was called Tinkercad. It was called Tinkercad. It's a browser based thing, so you just give a sign in and it's free to use. And it's basically, it's like the design space of like 3D modeling. You like make shapes and weld them together and subtract things. It's very limited in capabilities, but that's how I did that, because I'm like, oh, it was actually working with shape, because the alternative to that is a proper education in things like Autodesk and Fusion, or Fusion 360.
Alexa uses
Blender is a common. These have
all the time
way steeper learning curves.
Yeah, I tried to learn it.
That's where
I don't
I'm
think
at now, but that's not where I started, because also you're talking a couple $100 a year, if not a month, for some of those. The one I use right now is called I think it's called Shaper 3D. It allows you to kind of organically set shapes, kind of like it's almost like molding clay. It's, in a lot of ways it is. So some software is better for like engineered structural shapes, like tool holders and stuff. Some's more ideal for organic and kind of curving shapes. I actually like Shaper because it's on the iPad, so I can use the iPad pen and do that. But yeah.
All right. How much filament did it take for the tool holder? It's not a whole spool. It
is not. No.
So then you understand that it's not.
You could probably pull 2, 3 of those out of one spool, probably.
How do you switch colors?
Well, if you are doing like single colors, you're going to be going into on the AMS system. You're going to be going in and unloading that. You pressing, like, selecting the color, unloading it, choosing another color, reloading it. The AMS system, if you're talking about how to do like multicolors, which I wish we could have done here, but we had obviously some little technical bugs. And now on the desktop, you can do this. You can actually choose like parts of the model to be different colors, and you tie those colors to the selection on the AMS. So like if you wanted the little smokestack to print in blue, and the hull of the ship to be one thing and stuff like that, then it would handle that. You would do it through the software. It might be possible to do it on the phone. It's one of those, like, it's good tutorial stuff, but we don't dig into it, because while there are 3D printers in our community, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of them. I wish there were, because I think we'd love to cater to that.
Yeah, we keep waiting until tools are affordable to our community, because accessibility is so important. And we're not interested in, let's like devote half our time to 3D printers or laser cutters when half our community can't afford them.
Yeah,
so this is why we make these choices, because this matters so much to us.
And it's actually an ongoing thing too. It's like when we get stuff, I like to work top down on stuff. So like, I was like, Jennifer, laser cutter, Glowforge. I want the Glowforge. Which one? It's the Glowforge Pro. It's thousands of dollars, right? That was my starting Glowforge, thousands of dollars. I now own 2 Glowforge Pros, I might add. We owned 2 of them before we had the cheaper alternative. And the thing is like, the reason I like that is because those machines can do truly remarkable things. I mean, we're talking about, cutting through 1-inch thick oak cutting boards like it's nothing. We can engrave all sorts of materials. But then when we look at the affordable versions of them, they are so hamstrung in their capabilities that makes them hard to do a lot of stuff. It's like, crickets. Like, yeah, vinyl is awesome, but like, you want to go through like little plywood sheets, balsa sheets, leather. How many passes do you have to do through it?
Right.
Like,
so many.
But the Glowforge Pro, it can burn right through that. In fact, like that Glowforge Pro, which is like $5,000 or whatever, I could do paper crafts on that without lighting them on fire with a laser. Like that's.
But those things are not very affordable.
Yeah, so who can afford to do that? Like, why?
Right,
So the thing is, like, all right, well, do enough people own these cheaper versions of those that it's worth the tutorialization? You know,
Right.
We want it to be, just so we're clear. We love that. I would love to teach laser cutting and 3D printing stuff.
I still think it's in our future.
Yeah.
I do. I think that we just have to continue to be patient. But we get to do fun things like this. We can still introduce the idea and see what you guys think, right? All right. I feel like we've all been here for a while, and maybe we should.
Yeah, we've been here for a while. Thank you, Team Jennifer Maker, for hanging out like way longer than we're. See, I wanted it to be quick and easy so we could all go about our day, but Jennifer's like, let's have lots of problems today. So here we are.
Excuse me, that is totally not my fault. Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. I know you're not. Okay. Yeah. Well, we need to tell them about the giveaway.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to give away the Bambu Lab A1 3D printer with the AMS Lite system.
Now functioning, presumably.
Yes, so the plan is to give away the one that we set up, and we're doing this, throughout Merry Maker Mingle, and so this is not just this video. Anything that we demonstrate like this, we're planning to do, just so you know, so that you can come to our other videos. And the giveaway is open and through the end of January to give folks a chance to discover it, right? So I'm going to put the giveaway up, the link on the screen. There we go. So jennifermaker.com/3D printer giveaway. You only need to enter once, and we will choose the winner's name on February 1st, 2025. Okay, so if you are interested and you think you would use your 3D printer, please enter. And we will contact you by email, only email, as always. So don't be fooled if anyone else, tries to make you think that we're giving it away in a different way. And we'll package it. Greg will package it up carefully.
I will.
Yes, he will. And we'll get it shipped to you safely. And you can make things and you can show us what you made. And that would be really cool.
You can even keep this little, I'll make sure.
You can include the little
I'll make sure to
Benchy.
put Benchy in there, yeah.
So that's our giveaway, and we would love to give this to someone and have it have a new home. So I think that'd be really cool. Is there anything else about that?
About them
the giveaway?
Getting the printer?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't know about
the giveaway?
Yeah. Are we going to include the filament?
We will include some film. I don't know if we can include these because we've opened them.
That's true.
So
we've opened them. Maybe we can.
I will send you a unopened Bambu Labs filament.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
For you to make 100 benchies.
100.
But I would challenge the person who does receive this: make stuff for sure. Don't let it go to, because these things, like, this is a nice machine. This isn't a cheap machine. This is a incredibly capable machine. And it would be terrible for it to go to waste. So when you get it, make a thing. And if you're not feeling it, find someone else who will do it, because these are really cool.
Yeah, you could always donate it to
a school,
a library, a local makerspace. So there's lots of options there too.
Oh man, and kids love them. I'll tell you.
Yes. All right, cool. So then I think we just need to do a little wrap up for the video that stays on YouTube.
Do I need to be there for that?
Yes, you need to be here for that. So Greg, what did you think of the Bambu Lab A1 3D printer?
I like it. I know we had a little bit of a hiccup there, but
setting aside the hiccup, what did you think of it?
Setting aside, I think that this is a fantastic starter Cricut. Like, I would be thrilled. No, sorry, it's been very long. Mike, this tea is freezing. I'm pretty sure there's ice cubes in it.
All right, let's try it again.
Let's try it one more time.
So Greg, what do you think of the Bambu Lab A1 3D printer?
I would have loved to be the one receiving it. That is what I will say. It's very cool. I think it's awesome. Despite that mini hiccup, which we've had on so many things in the past, we worked it out and it seems to be performing fine, honestly.
How, well, aside from the issue, how do you feel that it performed?
I think the quality is good. I think It's packed with a lot of features that don't even exist on printers twice its price. I think it's backed by a company that has no shortage of support. Like, there's a big community behind Bambu Labs, and like, you saw the filament. You could go with all that. You could get all the replacement parts for this. I'll tell you, at the beginning of the video, I was sitting back there, and in that time, I had already added one of these to my shopping cart because
So I can't even buy it for him for Christmas now.
I don't have to.
Did you buy it? Did you actually order it?
I didn't order it, but it is in my shopping cart. Because I learned that they had different nozzle ends and everything. Like, you can choose yeah, whatever. Obviously, I'm excited about it. I think it's an awesome little machine.
Easy Christmas gift. Oh my goodness, you're so funny.
I changed my mind. I don't really want one. I thought about it, and it's out of my price point. I wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, okay. And how does it compare to the X1 Carbon? Which is the one that we have at home that we use, Carbon. Right?
I honestly, I feel that the performance is fantastic on this machine. The only reason I like the Carbon, the X1, is because it's in an enclosure that has an AMS on the top that is also like kind of atmospherically sealed. There's like places for desiccant packs, and there's a plastic box that it lives in that it monitors like the humidity inside the case. Right. It's just cleaner. And say, if you wanted 10 of them side by side in your garage, they would stack very nicely. This one, you have a kind of an awkward thing that's going to have to be labeled next to it.
I imagine you could
dust could collect on the
build
plates.
an enclosure,
Absolutely.
But the one that comes with the X1 Carbon is made for it.
It comes in the case.
Right.
There is no assembly of this. It is good to go.
Yes, I actually thought about unboxing that. It's just so expensive. But when we got it, we literally unboxed it, put it on the table, plugged it in. We had to feed filament, but otherwise it was just went through its tests. And I remember being so amazed at how simple it was. Right. I was really, but of course, bigger price tag, right? That's how that works, right?
Is it worth it? Like, it has a camera. Is it a nicer camera? Possibly.
It is a nicer camera.
Is the printer faster? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Can the Carbon use more materials? Absolutely, it can. But you don't really need it because, all right, so there might be 100 materials out there. Most people aren't going to use those. No,
you're going to use PLA most of the time.
PLA is the most common thing, PETG and stuff like that. And you get to kind of learn those things. But I love it. I think it's a fantastic little machine. I want to get it with the 0.2 nozzle. This is the 0.4, which is the standard nozzle.
Would you recommend the Bambu Lab A1 for beginners? Or would you recommend a different one for beginners?
If you can swing it, I think it's a fantastic printer. And if you are planning, if the printer is going to get used, yes, I would recommend it for beginners.
Is there a different one you'd recommend for beginners, out of curiosity?
That is hard to say. I don't have a lot of experience with like lower end ones, but
that's true. You don't.
I have heard good things about like competitors. I have, but I don't have a lot of experience.
But you don't have
Ender is a company that I understand makes some decent machines too. So I'm not saying those are terrible. They might be awesome.
But we have not tried it.
But I can tell you, I know what higher end machines look like, and this feels like it.
Oh yeah, this doesn't feel cheap or chintzy at all. It actually seems really well built. I was surprised considering the cost. I was expecting
it's very solid.
I was expecting something.
Yeah, the materials are all fantastic. I mean, I'd just like to point out, so I like the Prusa machines, or at least I did.
That's our first 3D printer was Prusa.
In fact, like, could you grab that real quick? I just got to talk about this. Sorry, I know it's like a hefty thing. So this machine here, this Prusa, even though this one's painted all crazy, I mean, I had to assemble it and stuff like that. Like, this machine, this Bambu Lab, would outperform this $1,000 Prusa that took me 6 hours to assemble. This one, I don't even know is it's functioning now. This one has a touchscreen and a whole system. This has just like a kind of a old-timey one. Also,
put your card
these components, like some of these are 3D printed components. Prusa printers print parts for Prusa printers. So, like, if you want a very, like, this is not like that. This is all engineered aluminum. It's all powder coated and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so this is a very clean, professional looking product
compared to
and it's
this
like
one,
no enclosure or whatever. It's fine. Like you could just throw a blanket over it once it cools down. That's very important. Let it cool down.
Yeah.
No, I think for a person who's serious about starting, I would absolutely recommend that machine.
All right.
I would recommend the X1 as well, but like I don't think you're getting, I mean, it's twice the price, right? I don't know as you're getting twice the value for twice that price. I think this is most of that machine.
Yeah, well, no, I agree with that for sure. All right.
So as a hobby machine, perfect.
All right, well, awesome. I think that we did it, everybody. So if you have questions, you are welcome to leave your question below this video and we will do our best, but we don't pretend to be experts. And my team is definitely not experts.
In fact, we pride ourselves on not being experts.
So, there might be some things that we can answer, but we're not trying to, we're just trying to show you what it's like to use this 3D printer, but you're certainly welcome to, and we'll do our best. And I think that's it. So thank you all for joining us for this rather lengthy unboxing and playtest. I think it was a really realistic look at this 3D printer, which I think is awesome. So thank you very much, Greg, for helping us.
That was awesome.
So that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer
and Greg
reminding you to craft a life you love.